Good morning, everyone, and Happy New Year. This is Robert. RJL Network presents a special presentation of Inside Pitch. The 1988 demo game is on the air. Happy New Year to all you guys out there. It is good to see you. I hope everyone had a very happy New Year's Eve. We are now in the year 2023. And I hope everyone will have a safe and happy New Year this year. We have lots to get to, of course, for this season, and of course for the year. For now, as of course, I think everybody will hopefully enjoy this presentation of the demo game. This is an exhibition game, of course, featuring the two World Series teams from the next upcoming season that you guys voted on, and that is 1988. As of from now on, we will only be doing 2 seasons per year. So 1988 will run from January to about June, or probably about April or May, and our next season will start in July. So we're going to do 2 seasons a year. I think that's good enough, and it gives me a nice little off season to get excited on and all of that. So I would like to say again, Happy New Year to everybody, and I hope everyone enjoyed their New Year's Eve. Woodman 564, V-Dub Productions, My Basement Media Productions, and Brian Patterson are first to join us here at the demo game. We are at Dodger Stadium. And 1988, we've got the Oakland Athletics taking on the Los Angeles Dodgers. These two teams, of course, did meet in the World Series that year. With the Dodgers winning the World Series, they get the home field for this matchup. This is a demo game. What we're going to do is we're going to play the game as a demonstration. It is exhibition, so some baseball rules will be relaxed. There is no 25-man rosters, so pretty much all players on the rosters are available at any time. So any house rules I use, of course, will not be utilized for the game. And of course, this is a demonstration where I pretty much play the game slowly, and you see how the game works. And this is not a teaching game. I can't teach the game. We're just going to roll the dice, but you will see everything play out slowly and meticulously so you can see how the game progresses. Now, the one thing that you guys have noticed, I have not filled in my special card. I want to show you exactly how we do that. And there is even a quicker way for those of you who have issues with the base running. That, unfortunately, is everyone's specifically main gripe about the game is the base running. I don't understand it. The base running mechanic, yes, can get a little bit, they say, is clunky. It's not clunky. It just takes a minute to get used to, okay? If you notice on the ball cards, there is no 1-star, 2-star, anything like that on any of the batter cards or hitter cards or anything like that. The dice run the game completely, okay? The dice run the game totally completely. There are no base running charts except for balls into the infield. I will be referring, of course, to the chart, the main chart as well. This chart and this chart is it. That's it. That's all you use. There are only 2 charts that resolve a play in Inside Pitch. The bunt chart and the squeeze bunt chart. Everything else is resolved by the dice. So base running, so the speed of the base runner plus the arm of the outfielder does determine whether when a base runner gets to third, scores, or anything like that on a single or a double. Okay, so that's how this system works. So it's no single 2-star. It's not single 1-star. So if you got a slow as mud runner on first base, okay, on a single 2-star, he shouldn't make it to third. Depending, of course, unless the outfielder, of course, has a lousy arm, and then he gets there. So we're going to show you how I create this chart as well. Of course, we have our special design markers and everything we need. and everything, of course, are, that's it. And of course, the range plays is right. Nothing is random. Let's see here. Brian B joins us here. Mr. Brandon Baker. Donald Cummings. Good to see you, sir. And of course, Baseball with the Demos. It's good to see you here today. And again, Happy New Year. So I'm going to show you exactly how I create the card before we do anything. And you can see how we do this. The base running mechanics and Forever Remain 90 join us here. The base running mechanics is what a lot of people have issues with. I'm going to show you a way how you can not deal with the base, not even worry about the base running mechanics. So let's first start with the Oakland Athletics. This card, this is just a card I created, okay, and I slip it in a card sleeve so I can write on it, utilizing a dry erase marker. So let's first do it the hard way. First thing, you got the visiting team and the home team here. So we're going to do Oakland up here and the Dodgers in the bottom. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to create the card. Now this here, S7, single to left, single to center, single to right, double to left, double to center, double to right. Runner from first, possible chance for runner to go from first to third, second to home, and first to home. Okay, so let's see, Oakland, S7. Let's do this the hard way first. In left field for the Oakland Athletics, I have Stan Javier in left field. Okay, in left field, his arm rating is a -1. In left field, his arm rating is a -1. So how do we do this? So we have a -1 in left field. Now, if you go ahead and go to the chart, and you'll see a single to left, to get from first to third is a -2, and to get from second to home a +1 to hit when it's hit the left, and a -1 from first to home. So he has a -1 rating. So you know that is -1 from first to third is going to be, so -1, -2 again is a -3. So you know that him is going to be a -3 to get automatically the base running rating of no matter what the runner is, because here's the base running rating of the player. And the base running rating, okay, is what you use here on the runner at first or second. So it's a -3, okay, when a ball hit the left field. Second to home, okay, is a +1. So he's a -1. So second to home is going to be a 0. A double to left, okay, his rating is still a -1, but a double to left, D7 is a -1. So his going to be a -2 on a double to left. So that is how you create a single to left, -3, 0, -2. Don't need to worry about adding or subtracting anything. Okay, there's your thing. There's your base. You just take the base running rating of the runner on first or second. Get your setup here, -3, and just roll and see if he makes it there. Of course, okay, and of course on a double, -2. That's for left field. Let's do center field real quick. Center field is Dave Henderson. I have Dave Henderson in center field. He has a 0 arm. So we know there's not going to be any modifications on a ball hit to center with Oakland in the field. So center field is -1, +2, +1, and that's not going to change. So -1, +2, +1 on balls hit to center field. So that is how you go ahead and get that here set up for center field. In right field, we have Jose Canseco. Jose Canseco's base running rating is a 0. So there's not going to be any changes to the chart there. So it's a single to right field, +2, +1, -1. So +2, +1, -1. And that is how you get the base running rating. So there you got a card for you. You've already got your ratings right there. You don't have to worry about making any calculations or looking at the chart. You've already created a base running chart. This I mean, I could do this, of course, without using this, but this thing just makes it a lot easier to utilize. Beatles Eternally joins us here at Dodgers Stadium. I hope Beatles Eternally had a happy new year and has gotten off his yellow submarine and joined us today. That counts. So now I'm going to show you something that you guys can create to make it even easier. So this is how you do that, piece by piece. Now, what I also did, I went ahead and created another chart. This chart makes it even easier. And there you go. This chart automatically, you don't have to worry about adding or subtracting. It's right there. So now let's go ahead and do the Dodgers. This is another chart that I built. It's for me, it's personal use to go ahead. This is the arm rating, and this automatically is just what you fill in. So let's take a look at the Dodgers. In left field, we have Kirk Gibson. His arm rating in left field is a 0. So left field is up here. So 0, it's already right out there for you. Already has the calculations for the runner. So -2 + 1 -1. So -2 + 1 -1 is all you got to put in there. In center field, you have John Shelby. Shelby is also a 0 out there. So the center field rating for 0, -1 + 2 + 1. -1 + 2 + 1. There you go. That's how you got that for center. In right field, we have Pedro Guerrero. Now, Guerrero, of course, was not on the Dodgers at the end of the season, but he is carded. So I decided to use him for this game for the Dodgers. He wound up on the Cardinals in the trade for John Tudor. And Pedro Guerrero in right field as you can see, is a 0. So we go ahead and 0 for right field, +2 + 1 -1. So +2 + 1 -1. And there you go. The chart is complete, set, done, ready to play. It's good to have maybe a marker here for fielding. It tells you who's in the field at the time, so you can take a look and see who's in there. So for those of you who want, so this is a chart you create here. This is a chart here that you guys can create. Just make this, put on a piece of paper, something like that, for singles to left, single to center, single to right, and then just fill it out. Don't have to worry about making the calculations. They're already there. So a -2 would be like a -4, -1, -3, a +2, 0, +3, +1. That's how I create that card all you need is just the arm rating of the outfielder, and that is it. And of course, with 2 outs, you're adding 1 to the base runner's rating. So that's how I create this chart, this little card to help with the base running. And of course, I can do this without even using it, but to me, it's just a quick reference. And then I just put the chart to the side. All right. I know it's off topic, but if you could at some point clarify when a failed range play at first base, third base, to an S5, S3, or S7, S9. Absolutely. As I said, this is a demo game. I will be taking questions because this is a demonstration game. I want people to understand how easy this game is to play compared to all the other ones that are out there. I know I'm not here to bash games. I'm here to show the greatness of inside pitch. Of course, a lot of people have their favorites, and that is awesome. This is my favorite. This is the most exciting game you can play. The dice run everything. It is not charts. The only charts you worry about is bunt and squeeze, and that is it. Everything else is run by the dice. Range plays, everything like that. Errors, all run by the dice. Does this fatigue factor similar to something like Strat? Yes, fatigue factors do set in. The one thing about inside pitch does not destroy pitchers when it comes to fatigue. It does not destroy pitchers. There are some games where as soon as a pitcher reaches a certain amount of innings or batters he's faced, that pitcher becomes practically useless, okay? But this game is very mild. Some people say it's too mild. That could be a caveat if you wish. But the thing about inside pitch, you can go ahead and customize it. If you think the pitcher is not devastated enough, you can change a couple of ratings for house rules. Inside pitch, you can create so many house rules for inside pitch to make it as realistic or as hard or as easy as you want. And that's the thing about it, okay? Plus, inside pitch, you get all the players. Chris Davis cards them all. The ones he does not card, you just download for free from the site for the French players, and you print them out. Like I go ahead here. Let's see. Here's a Rich Bordy card. This is not, as you can tell, the font is different between the two. This is a Rich Bordy card from Oakland. Okay, this was a French player. All right, but I went ahead and printed this on regular card stock. It's the same card stock that he uses, and I just print it out, cut it, and put it in the pack, and that's all. Could you at some point clarify when a failed range play? A failed range play at first base or third base turns into an S5, S3, or a D5, D3, not an S7 or an S9. I did try to clarify that a little bit to Chris, but Chris said that if a failed range play, and if you look at the chart here, then I'll bring the chart. If you can see here, you have a failed range play on a G3 or a G5 is an S3 or it becomes an S3 or an S5. But if it's a double, it becomes a D3 or a D5. There is no S9. It doesn't become an S7 or an S9. On a failed range play from D3 to D5, okay, runners advance 2 bases and that's it. Figuring a failed range play would go into the corner. It's a double no matter. It's only a 2-base double. It's a 2-base double for the runners, and that is it. So that is how you have. That's how that works there, Dave. Okay. So that's how that works. So anytime you have a failed range play on a G3 or G5, it's either going to be an S3 or an S5, where you use the basic running chart here. Or a D3, D5. Of course, he doesn't have that here, but a D3, D5 is just a 2-base double, and it's simple as that. That's how we did it. I tried to change it where it should be an S7 or an S9, but he said no. According to his statistics and the game engine, he says D3 or D5 should just be fine. So anytime you have a failed range play on a ball hit the third or a ball hit the first, and it becomes a double, it's a D3 or a D5. Just run your runners advance 2 bases, and that is it. And the at bat ends. We are at the National League ballpark, so we are using the pitchers will be batting. Orel Hershiser, Dove, has his own batting card. We are in the year 1988. However, Dave Stewart does not, because of course in the 88, from the DH era. Before we had interleague play, okay, none of the American League pitchers batted. So I've created generic pitcher hitting cards. This was something I created on my own and specifically designed for these kind of seasons. I did upload these to Chris to let him see it and maybe put them as a free download. We're going to use generic pitcher hitting card number 0 for Stewart. Stewart actually did hit the ball pretty decently. He had a lifetime batting average about 194 actually when he hit in the National League. But because he didn't have any at bats at all, he actually did at bat in the postseason in 1988, but he didn't hit a ball. So because of that, and since he didn't have an at bat for about 5 years, I'm just going to use pitcher hitting card number 0. It's designed for pitchers that have that have no average at all. It's just a basic pitcher hitting card, which gives the pitcher, strikeouts, ground outs. It doesn't mean he can't get a hit, because a failed range play or a ballpark result can always give a hit. So that's the cards I'll be using. It's my own creation, and I did create a position player pitching card finally. I haven't tested it yet. I don't even know what the ERA of that card would be. I don't think I'm going to use it in this game. So that is how you create the little charts here. And even though I do have this on balls hit to the field, I will still go ahead and do it. I will show you the short way and the long way. I will show that to you in this demonstration game. So if there are no more questions that can come up early, let's go ahead and start this game. So we're at Dodger Stadium. The Athletics will play the Dodgers. I should also, I thought ERA at 9, something like that, Programming change. I was going to start the 1988 season on January 9th. We are moving the opening day now to the 10th. Simple reason. the college football national championship is that night. So, and I want to watch TCU in Georgia. So there we will start opening day for the 1988 season will now be Tuesday the 10th. Okay, so that's when I'll start opening day. All right, guys, let's see what happens. So we're here at Dodger Stadium. Let's go to the top of the first inning. We got Orel Hershiser. He's going to start for the Dodgers. 23 wins, 8 losses, save a 2.26 ERA. Hershiser had an excellent year for the Dodgers that year. Of course, remember the Dodgers did win the World Series. So, and Jeff Merklin joins us here. So let's see what happens. So let's get things started, shall we? Let's go to the top of the first inning here. And, of course, I'm not using my normal announcing voice. And, of course, when I play the season, all right, I'm not really going to be going ahead and showing you why certain things happen unless I have to. We just play through the game. Carney Lansford's going to start for the Athletics. He's at third base for the game. He had a 279 average, 7 homers, and 57 RBIs. We are at Dodger Stadium. We're going to go ahead and use gray, white, and blue dice for the Dodgers, for they are the home team. And we're all set and ready to play. So the first thing, of course, you do is you got to roll for the pitcher card. The pitcher always starts first, and then, of course, most of the time, you'll go to the batter card, and of course, you can get an automatic out from the pitcher card. That's another thing I like about Inside Pitch. It starts with the pitcher. There are games out there that do not start with the pitcher. I do not know why. Before the batter can swing the bat, the ball has to be sent to him. So you start with the pitcher. There are some games that abstract pitching, where whoever's on the mound doesn't really even matter. But we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Inside Pitch. So Orel Hershiser will go ahead and we roll 3 dice. 1 die is the top, 1 die is the side, and 1 die, of course, is the D20. As you know, I like using the color dice for the home team. The Dodgers actually have a bit of a gray on the top line here with the blue. So I usually like using the white die as the side die anyway. So it'll be gray, white, and blue will be the D20. Usually the color here is what I use for the D20. Old Man Music starts 527, joins us here at Dodger Stadium. Good to see you. Good to see. I got a lot of people in the chat for this demo game. So as I said, if any questions arise, please, I'll be constantly looking at the chat. Please ask your questions. This is a demonstration game. Okay, let's see how we go. Be prepared depending how the game goes. Who knows what we're going to have? I don't know how the 1988 season is going to go. It's going to be fun. So let's go. Let's take the first pitch. So we have a 5-4 and a 13. 5-4 is a K. So that means that Orel Hershiser, possible strikeout of the batter. Dodger Stadium adds 1 to strikeouts, subtracts 1 from walks, and does not add anything or subtract anything from home runs. Dodger Stadium did not have many home runs in 88, only 87. So there is no home run, automatic home run here on the ballpark card. There is a little bit up here, but Dodger Stadium did not give up many homers in 1988. So it's a 5-4, which comes as a K. So then we go to Carney Lansford. Against a righty, Lansford is a 4 against right-handers, struck out with a 4. +1 is a 5, but that is a 13. So the 13 means he does not strike out. So Lansford now it goes to the batter card, and he gets the swing. And that is a 4-5. So he goes ahead. A 4-5 is a G6. A G6 is a ground ball. There's a ground ball to short, so that ball goes to Alfredo Griffin. And Lansford is out. Next batter will be center fielder Dave Henderson. Had a good season for the A's that year. 304 average, 24 home runs, 94 RBIs. Dwayne Martz now joins us here. So now once again, Orel Hershiser will go ahead and make a pitch. And that is 5-2. 5-2 is a blank, which means that there's nothing here on the pitcher card that will do anything. So we go straight now to the hitter card. Dave Henderson will get the swing of the bat. 6-4, and 6-4 is also a G6, which is again another ground ball to Alfredo Griffin at short. And there are now 2 outs. Playing in right field is Jose Canseco. He had a 307 average. He belted 42 home runs, 124 RBIs. Canseco was one of the best players in baseball that season. So once again, we go to Orel Hershiser. And it is a 4-1. Now, a 4-1 is a split rating. Now, on a split rating, you read it left side and right side. Against a right-handed batter, which Canseco is, that is a blank. Okay. Against a lefty, if Canseco was a lefty, that's a 2-star. That's a double star, which means that would be an automatic out. And then you would roll on the star line here for Hershiser. But against a right-hander, that is a blank. So Canseco actually gets a chance to swing the bat. A 3-5. Canseco hits a 3-5, and we go to him, and we see an F9. And an F9 is a fly ball hit the right field. And going over there to get it is Guerrero. And he will make the catch and retire the side. So after 1/2 inning, there is no score. Yeah, the biggest home run in Game 1 of the World Series. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. So we will now go to the bottom of the 1st inning, and I'll go ahead and move Oakland into the field so I know who's out there. Pitching for the Athletics is going to be Dave Stewart, 21 wins, 12 losses, a 3.23 ERA, 192 strikeouts, 105 walks, a very good season for Dave Stewart. He really came into his own that year, too, in 1988. A very good season for him. Oakland had a pretty darn good pitching staff as well, but Oakland was known more for its hitting than it was for its pitching, where the Dodgers really had the pitching. Steeler fan joins us here at Dodgers Stadium. Good to see him as well. So now Dave Stewart will go ahead and take the mound for the Athletics, and the Dodgers will now get the bat. Leading off for the Dodgers is going to be second baseman Steve Sax. He batted .277, 5 home runs, 57 RBIs. Steve Sax, in my opinion, was a very solid player throughout his career. Good fielding second baseman. Good speed on the base pads too. He had 42 stolen bases. Sax was pretty quick. So a very solid player for the Dodgers. So now we go to Dave Stewart. He'll go ahead and pitch. And it comes up as a 5-2. A 5-2 for Stewart is a K. So a possible strikeout. Stewart is a righty. Sax against right-handers is a 5. +1 from the ballpark makes him a 6. That is a 10 on the D20. He does not strike out. Yes, Sax had a -2 pivot rating. Sax will then get to swing a 3-6. And 3-6 for Sax is a G3, which is a ground ball to first. It's a ground out to first, and there's 1 out. Next batter for the Dodgers is going to be the shortstop, Alfredo Griffin. He played about half the season for the Dodgers in 1988. I believe it was Anderson who took over for shortstop for the Dodgers over Griffin, I think, later. I think Griffin he got hurt. Griffin had a 199 average. He did have a home run, 27 RBIs. But I gave the shortstop to Griffin. He's going to go ahead and play at short. Yes, and Brian B., I know him, pretty much bought all the cars. I saw all the cars disappear as you guys continue to go ahead and all bring up the information for the cars. Stewart will go ahead and pitch, and that is a 6-4. Now, Stewart comes up a 6-4, and that is a W+, or what I call a super walk. A walk plus is a walk attempt, is a walk chance, but a plus means you add 10 to the chance of the batter. So it's a walk plus. Alfredo Griffin was a switch hitter, but against the righty, he walked 4. He has a 4. But -1 from the stadium makes him a 3. But since it is a walk plus, you add 10. So that becomes a 13. That is a 20. So Griffin still does not walk, even though Dave Stewart did not have much control on that at bat. So Griffin still doesn't walk. He does get to swing. It's a 5-5. Now here is a question mark 7. A question mark 7, or I like to call the power column or the power column. You go up to here. A question mark 7 is a ball hit the left. This is a ball hit the left field. And now you go to the top of the card, and you check to see if the batter handedness makes a difference. Against righties, Griffin was not as good against righties as it was against lefties when it came to hitting to power. So against a righty, Griffin is a 1-6 for a single. A triple would be a 7. Okay, anything higher would be a flyout. So this is a fly ball or a ball hit to left. This is a ball hit to left field. And against a righty, he needs a 1-6 or a 7 for a hit. That is also a 20. So that's just going to be a fly out to right to left field, and that will be out number 2. So Griffin flies out to left, and that is the second out. Next batter is going to be Kirk, I don't believe what I just saw, Gibson. Gibson is in left field for this game. He batted .290, 25 home runs, and 76 RBIs. And Gibson is the batter for here against Stewart. So this is we go up against Stewart. So now we roll to see what we have for Stewart. So Stewart roll is a 2-3. A 2-3 is a possible strikeout, regular K. Against the righty, Gibson was a 13. +1 from the ballpark makes him a 14. That is an 11, and Gibson swings and misses. And that is strikeout number 1 for Stewart. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for the A's. So no score after 1. Good to see everybody in the chat having fun. That is good. You go ahead and talk amongst yourselves. I'm constantly looking to see if there's any questions being asked or anything like that. We go to inning number 2. And leading off for the Athletics is going to be the first baseman, Mark. I'm not here to talk about the past, McGuire. McGuire batted .260 that year, 32 home runs, 99 RBIs. McGuire was, of course, the other member of the Bash brothers, the Canseco-McGuire tandem. So... I'm sure you guys spent a lot of money all that time buying lots of cars. You guys. So McGuire's going to go ahead and get a chance to bat against the Bulldog, Hershiser. So top of the second. And it is a 5-6. 5-6 for McGuire. Hershiser is an @ sign. This is a ballpark symbol. So we go to the ballpark for the result. So it's at the ballpark. So we then roll again at Dodger Stadium. It is a 4-5, and there we go. Why am I not surprised we got one? Dodger Stadium is a rare play. It is a blank. So any blanks on the ballpark is considered a rare play. That is one caveat I have with the system. Not enough rare plays, but since we're using as a demonstration, we're going to go ahead and use the basic rare play chart. So now we go to the rare play chart here. And inside pitch comes with rare plays men on and rare plays bases empty. I tell people I was working on my own rare plays, and such on my own, but I'm going to stick with the main chart as it is. So here's rare plays, bases empty. Now the thing about rare plays, any range plays or any error checks that come off the pitcher card, rare play completely wipes that out. There is no check for a range play or a rare play or an error unless the rare play says you check. So then we roll the dice again on rare plays, bases empty. And it's a 65. Well, why am I not, like I said, inside pitch, looking good. Inside pitch possibly hits batter, resolved like a hit by pitch. Either way, the batter charges the mound, causing a bench-clearing brawl. One player from each team throw out, rolling a 1d20 for each team, with 1 to 9 being the players at that position in the game, and 10 to 20 being a bench player ranked by at bat from 1 to 11. Pitcher and batter also thrown out. Why do I get that one? Why do I get that rare play in a demo game? I did used to use season ticket players. I used to, but some of it didn't make some sense. Why do I get the 65? Well, this is a demonstration, so I got to do it as it is. So, resolve like a hit by pitch. So the first thing we got to do is a hit by pitch. Mark McGuire has an inside hit by pitch rating of 5. Hershiser is a -3. So McGuire would get hit on a 2 or lower on the D20. That is a 4. I do roll the D20 with it. That is a 4. So he does not get hit by a pitch. But they all go ahead and rush the pitcher. So either way, the batter charges the mound, causing a bench clearing brawl. One player from each team thrown out, rolling the 1d20 for each team, with 1 to 9 being the players at that position in the game. Well, let's see who gets thrown out for the A's. It is number 16. That's going to be a bench player, and that's going to be a bench player, and being ranked by at bats from 1 to 11. So let's see who that's going to be. So give me a second. Let's see who that's going to be here for a bench player. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And let's see here. 9, 10, and 11. So Lance Blankenship of Oakland just got tossed. So what I'll do is I'm just going to turn this card around and get him out there. So the Athletics lost Lance Blankenship, a nobody. Lance Blankenship, not really nobody, but he just got thrown out. From the Dodgers, it's a 20. So that's going to be 1 to 11. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And let's see who gets thrown out here. And the Dodgers are not going to lose any major players. They will lose. Let's see here. The Dodgers are going to lose. They're going to lose Gil Reyes. So Gil Reyes is going to get tossed from the game. And that's it. But it also says pitcher and batter also thrown out. So McGuire got tossed, and so did Hershiser. That's what a way to have a demo game, really. What a way for a demo game. So Hershiser got tossed, and McGuire got tossed. But it's a demonstration game, so we follow everything hard and fast. So McGuire is out. So now I got to find a first baseman for the Athletics. And that is going to be... It's going to be... Who's going to be first base? Well, Doug Jennings is going to take over first base. So give me a minute here as I got to get him take over. So Doug Jennings will take over at first. Doug Jennings, and he is a 110, so he's not good. So Doug Jennings will take over at first. And Orel Hershiser just got tossed. So the Dodgers just lost their starting pitcher. So since this is an exhibition game, I'm going to bring in anybody, and I'm going to go ahead and bring in Tim Leary, and he'll just take over. So Tim Leary is going to take over for Hershiser. It's an exhibition game. So Hershiser is out. Okay. Now, of course, there was no hit batter. There was no hit batter. So Doug Jennings is still at the plate. So that's how that works when you get that kind of roll. Why am I not? Of course I get that on a demo game. Of course I get that. So pitcher and batter are also thrown out. So now Tim Leary will now pitch for the Dodgers. Doug Jennings will now take over at first base. It says it's an exhibition game, but I will bring another starter. So Leary will now take over. But now it was a hit by pitch. Okay, but now you redo the at bat. You now redo the at bat. So now we roll again for Tim. Now we'll roll for Tim Leary. Leary is a 2-6. That is a strikeout. Jennings against righties is a 15. +1 makes him a 16. That is a 15. And Jennings goes ahead and strikes out. So that is strikeout number 1 for Tim Leary for taking over. Joe Turney joins us here. Yes, another way to interesting start the year right there. Next batter for the Athletics is going to be the shortstop, Walt Weiss. 250 average, 3 homers, 39 RBIs. Still 1 out here in the top of the second inning in this game. But now you see what happens when you have that kind of thing, like a bench crewing brawl and all that stuff. It's like I said, this is a demonstration. One other thing also, the D20 is being used hard and fast, no matter what the rule, no matter what the game situation is. But of course, you'll also see why I use it as a suggested, not hard and fast. But you should always roll the strategy roll when you have a runner on base, unless it's a 6-run or a 6-run deficit. Tim Leary will go ahead and roll, and that is a 5-4. And now we have a range play. RP means range play. So now you go to the batter card, and now we see what our range play will work. So Walt Weiss gets the roll, and that is a 1-5. Now that is a ball hit to left field. So we know this is a ball hit to left. The first thing I do is I check to see what it could be. This is a 15. Against the righty, Weiss has a 15 to 17 is a triple. Now, this is going to be a triple to left, but it is a range play. You still have to see if the play is made. Left fielder, of course, is Stan Javier. Javier has a range of 4. He's a good left fielder out there. He has a good rating there. Left field, Stan Javier. So his range is a 4. I'm sorry, what am I talking about? I'm sorry, left fielder is, Gibson. I'm sorry, Dodgers in that, Gibson. Gibson still has a range of 4 in left field, even with those busted legs. He has a range of 4. So Gibson out there in left has a range of 4. So you roll 1 die. If it's a 1 to 4, he makes the play. 5 to 6, this is going to be a triple. It is a 3, so Kirk Gibson comes over there, races into the corner. Weiss hits it well, but Gibson's got a little bit of room. It was a 3, so he had a lot more space to work with, and he'll go ahead and turn that into a fly out to left field. So Weiss got a good amount of it, but Gibson went ahead and made the play and left. That'll bring up the catcher, Terry Steinbach. I'm sorry, no, Stan Javier is the next batter. I'm sorry. So let's see here. Steinbach bats here. So Javier is the next batter. Javier is in left field. 257 average, 2 home runs, 35 RBIs. Haven't played the game in 2 months, so I got to get my mind back into the system. So Leary will go ahead and pitch. There are 2 outs. Leary a 5-1, and against them now we have a split. Leary has a walk plus against the lefty, but against the righty, it's a blank. Javier is a switch hitter, and Leary is a righty, which means that Javier is going to be batting from the left side. That's going to be a walk plus. Against the righty, Javier is a 10. -1 makes him a 9, but a walk plus will make it a 19. That is a 2, and Leary will go ahead and walk Javier. So we get our first base runner of the game. And that is the first walk of the game. So Javier is on at first after a walk by Tim Leary. Now comes up the catcher, Terry Steinbach. With 2 outs, now, of course, my house rule is anytime I have runners on base for a force less than 1 out, I always automatically declare double play. Sometimes I might not do it automatically, but it's always a double play depth unless I say otherwise. That's my rule. But there are 2 outs, so you're not going to move into double play depth. The infield is going to stay back. So Javier is on at first, but now you roll the strategy die. The strategy die is this, and here is the strategy die on the chart. Steal attempt equals attempt plus hold. Or stealing a third, attempt divided by 2, round down, stealing third, attempt divided by 5, running down, stealing home. And you got your hit and run, your bunt check, and a roll of D20 and a roll of 20 is a pickoff attempt. All can be overridden based on game situation or gamer's choice. There are no strategy rolls when run differential in game or inning is greater than 10. So if you have a 4-run lead, but you're in the 7th inning, okay, you're not going to use a strategy roll because pitching is just going to be pitcher versus batter. So let's see what the strategy roll comes up and see if we're doing anything. It is a 3. Javier does have a 4, okay, and Leary has a 0. The first is the hold rating. The second is the steal, is any additions added to the steal attempt. Javier is a 4. He's going. He has a 19 stolen base rating. Leary is a +2, which makes him a 21. The catcher for the Dodgers is Mike Scioscia. He has a -2 arm. So that -2, that +2 by Leary is actually wiped out. So it's going to be a 1-19. So Javier is going to try to steal and get in the scoring position. A 1-19, he gets there. On a 1 or a 2, it's a possible error. A 20, though, he's out no matter what. 17. So it's a close play, but Javier still steals second. Steele goes ahead and steals second on a stolen base. So Javier does steal the base. He did have 20 stolen bases that year. So Javier will be at second base. Now we re-roll the strategy to see if maybe he might think about doing third. It is a 6. No, because Javier is a 4, but on a attempt to steal third, you divide it by 2. So, and since there was nothing by Leary, so the 4 divided by 2 would be a 2. So the only way Javier would have got the jump to steal third, he would have needed a 2 or lower. That is a 6. He's not going anywhere. So now we pitch normally. Leary rolls a 5-4, and again, it's a range play. So now we go to Steinbach's card. A 3-1. Now Steinbach has a split rating. Against a righty, Steinbach has a ground ball to short. Against a lefty, it would be a single pass short. But it's a range play either way. Leary's a righty, so this is a ground ball to short, but it is a range play to the shortstop, and that is Alfredo Griffin. Griffin's range is a 4. So the infield is back. So a 1-4, Griffin will make the play. It is a 4. He barely goes ahead, does it, makes a diving stop. He gets on his feet, throws to first, and gets the out and retires the side. Nothing across except a walk and a stolen base. We go to the bottom of the second. On a nice play by Alfredo Griffin. That was a weird inning. We now go to the bottom of the second. Stewart gets back on the mound. Leading off for the Dodgers will be Mike Marshall. I have him at first base for this game. It was a pretty good first baseman. It was a pretty good first baseman, Mike Marshall. So he is at first base. 277 average, not a bad hitter, too. 277, 20 home runs, and 82 RBIs. So now, bottom of the second inning, Oakland now in the field. Stewart, a 6-5, and that is a walk. So a possible walk against a righty. Marshall is a 10, -1 is a 9. So it means a 9 or a lower, he will walk. That is a 1. Marshall does draw the base on balls, and he will go to first. Next batter will be the center fielder, John Shelby. Shelby has a 263 average, 10 home runs, and 64 RBIs. Now that I have a runner on first and there's only nobody out, now I will move to double play depth. Double play does make it a little bit easier to complete a double play for the team in the field, but it does subtract 1 from the ranges of the infielders. Also, the base now, depending, of course, where it's hit to as well. If the ball is hit to first base, the first baseman does not get the benefit of the +1 because he's considered holding the runner on. Also, base running rating of the base runner is subtracted by 1 as well. Let's roll for a strategy roll. And that is a 9. So Marshall has a 1. -1 is a 0. The 9 is higher than any hit and run opportunity. Okay, Marshall's not going anywhere. Marshall's slow. Marshall had 4 stolen bases, but he's pretty much mud. So he will not go. So Stewart will now pitch. Stewart, a 1-4. That is a double question mark. A double question mark is what I call a pitcher result. You go to here. The double question mark is here. Anytime you go here. This is also a fatigue result, but this will not come into play. since Stewart has not pitched to 30 batters yet. You go to here for the double question mark. Shelby's a switch hitter. Stewart's a righty. So Shelby is batting from the left side. Against the lefty, Stewart needs a 1 on the D20 for this to be an automatic out. That is a 19. It is too high, so that is considered a blank. So now you roll on Shelby's card. Shelby is a 6-2. Now this is a G4. This is a ground ball. This is a ground ball to second base. Now you'll see how the double plays work. Shelby has a double play rating of 2. Stewart, a double play rating of 0, so he does not add or subtract. It is a grounder to short. The double play rating for infield does add 1, which makes that a 3. It's hit to second base. So the shortstop is going to be the pivot. The pivot rating for Walt Weiss, who's at short, is a 0. So he does not add anything to the pivot rating. So a 1, 2, or 3 is going to be so you roll a die. A 1, 2, or 3 is a double play. Okay. A 4 or a 5, Marshall's going to be thrown out at second because Marshall has a base running rating of 2, which actually is a 1 due to the double play rating. But a 6, all 6s, runners advance 1 base, and the batter is out. It is a 3, so it is a double play. So a nice pickup by Glenn Hubbard at second. He throws to White at short, covering the bag, and then he throws to first for the out, and that is a double play. So Shelby grounded out into a double play. That's the one thing about that I like. Another thing about inside pitch. That is your 4-6-3 double play. One thing I like about inside pitch is that double plays depend on the base runner. It depends on the pivot rating of the fielders. It's not automatic. Like, for instance, in some games, you roll a grounder, and all of a sudden, it's an automatic double play no matter what comes up. No matter who's in the field, no matter who's on base, it's an automatic double play. That doesn't work in inside pitch. You have to see if a double play is actually done. Next up for the Dodgers is, well, if the Red Sox have Bucky Dent. The Mets have Mike Scioscia. Mike Scioscia, the catcher, 257 average, 3 homers, 35 RBIs. Scioscia is the catcher in this game, and he will bat up next. Of course, Mike Scioscia in the 1988 NLCS belted a home run in, I believe it was game 4 of that series off of Dwight Gooden late. I don't know why David Johnson didn't take him out, even though he was still pitching pretty well, if I remember the game. But I would have probably taken Gooden out, went to McDowell, or probably went to McDowell. Remember, Orozco is not, I believe it was not, Orozco is actually on the Dodgers in '88, not on the Mets. So they probably want to go to McDowell. But Scioscia comes up to bat. But now there are 2 outs. Stewart, a 6-3. Again, it's a split rating. So against the righty, it's a blank. But against the lefty, it's a walk plus. Scioscia against the righty is an 8. -1 makes him a 7, but you add 10 since it's a walk plus. So it's a 17. That's a 14, and he walks Scioscia. So Scioscia goes ahead and draws another walk. Draws a walk. Second walk given up by Stewart. So Scioscia goes to first on another base on ball. So right now, Stewart, he did have 105 walks and 192 strikeouts. So Stewart could be a little loose, have lost control. Third baseman for the Dodgers is going to be Jeff Hamilton. 236 average, 6 homers, 33 RBIs. Scioscia, of course, is on first. I still roll the strategy roll. And it is a 13. Scioscia not going anywhere. He's mud. He's got a 1 attempt. That 13, that is not in the bunt rating either of Hamilton, bunt rating of 2. As I said, we are doing this strategy roll hard and fast because this is a demonstration. Normal, but I will show you when it comes up to the situation, I'll say why we shouldn't or should. So now it's a normal play. The infield is back. There are 2 outs. Stewart rolls. It's a 5-2. Here we are in 5-2. A K, possible strikeout. Hamilton against righties is a 9. +1 in the ballpark makes him a 10. That is a 5. And that is a swing and a miss. Struck him out. Second strikeout for Stewart. And that ends the inning. Nothing across except a couple of walks. After 2 innings, it is still No score in this demo game. Hope everybody, like I said, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask while I do the demo game. And we will go to the top of the third. Leading off for the Athletics is going to be the second baseman, Glenn Hubbard. Coming up, I think, later in the later years of his career. Remember, we all know Glenn Hubbard with like the Cardinals and the Braves. Hubbard, 255 average, 3 homers, 33 RBIs. Leary will continue to pitch. I'm going to use, since he came in in the second inning, I'm going to go ahead and use, since it's an exhibition game, I'm going to use Leary's starting batter's fatigue rating, not his relief. This is exhibition. This is an exhibition game. I had to get another coffee. What did you miss? So Leary will go ahead and pitch. 4-5. Leary, a 4-5. EG, question mark. This is an error on a grounder. So if it's a ground ball, it's a possible error on the Dodgers. Errors on the grounders include any errors in the infield. They do include errors in the outfield. It is still considered an error on a grounder. So if there's a ball hit to the outfield, if it's an S7, an S8, or an S9, it is still an error on a grounder, and I'll show you the chart here. Here's the error chart, error on a grounder, and you can still see errors are still hit here, okay, on the S7, S8, and S9 double, whatever, okay, you can still have an error on a grounder when a ball hit to the outfield. Some people don't use that, but that's okay. As I said, you can make your own decisions when it comes to it, but errors on the grounders are any ball that reaches the ground, that hits the ground, obviously. So an error on a grounder, of course, is a ball that pretty much, and that does include singles to left, singles and doubles to left and center, and of course triples. Now we got to see if what Glenn Hubbard does. It's a 3-2. Glenn Hubbard on a 3-2 is an L4. This is a line drive right to second base. It's not a grounder, so obviously there's not going to be an error. So that is an L4, and that is 1 out. That's a line drive instead, so there is no grounder. The next batter is going to be Dave Stewart. He's going to use generic pitcher hitting card number 0, at least for his first or second time at bat. This card was created by me to go ahead for these certain reasons for the designated hitter years. He has a batting average of 0.00. He did not hit at all during the regular season. He did actually get a couple of at-bats during the World Series against the Dodgers, but he did not get a hit. So I'm going to use 0.00 for his pitcher hitting card. Tim Leary, a 1-3. And again, that's a split rating. Now, a walk plus against the lefty or a blank against the righty. Stewart, now, there's one little issue, however, with inside pitch when it comes to the pitcher's batting. Because he only has a righty with Dave Stewart, okay, here as the thrower, I have to use this, okay, all right, for the handedness against the pitcher. There are pitchers that threw right-handed but batted lefty or even switch. Since I really don't have a chance to look that up, and since of course these pitcher hitting cards are generic and it really doesn't matter what the pitcher hitting, what the matter with the pitcher handedness of the card is, because everything is cookie cutter, it's the same. It doesn't matter to me. I just use whoever he threw is how he bats. Leary, now that is a 1-3. Against the righty, it's a blank. Against the lefty, it would be a walk plus. Stewart was a right-handed pitcher. I'm just going to say he batted right-handed too, but he may have batted left. I don't remember. So against the righty, that's a blank. So we go to the pitcher hitting card. It is a 5-6, and I have it as a K. He would just strike out, and that would do it. And that's going to be out. And that's going to be out number 2. Stewart just strikes out. So now we go to the top of the Oakland batting order. And those hitting cards are my creation. I did send them in to Chris to see if he wanted to do anything with them. I was hoping he would just put them on the He would put them up on the website as a free download. I may just go ahead and upload the files and put them in the forums for anybody who wants the files for the generic pitcher hitting card and the position player pitching card that I created, and you guys can download it. I don't think I'll have a problem with it. I may ask them first if that's okay before I go ahead and upload it to the forums, and then you guys can go, people can go ahead and download what they like, and of course they can make changes. That's all. Here's Lansford. He's 0 for 1. So Leary again will pitch. 2-6. And here we go. A 2-6 Leary is a K, which is a possible strikeout. Against a righty, Lansford is a 4. +1 is a 5. That's a 17. He does not strike out. 4-2. And 4-2 comes up a double star 3 or a star line 3, or I just say automatic out. A double star, a 2, this is a star line, and you go to the pitcher, to the pitcher's star line to see what kind of an out it's going to be. It is an automatic out, okay? And the one thing I like about the pitcher cards, because of the star line, this kind of tells you what kind of pitcher this pitcher was. Leary has nothing but grounders in his star line. That means Leary was more of a ground ball pitcher. He gave up more grounders than fly balls. So this is a star line 3, and a 3 is a G5. So that means that's a ground ball to third, taken care of there by Hamilton, and he will throw to first to get the out, and that retires his side. So 3 up and 3 down, and we still have no score. We'll go to the bottom of the third. Oakland now in the field. Stewart will pitch, of course. Leading off for the Dodgers is going to be Pedro Guerrero. I'm putting him in right field for this game. He was with the Dodgers most of the season until he was traded to the Cardinals for Tudor. Guerrero wasn't bad. 286 average, 10 homers, 65 RBIs. I have him batting 8th in this lineup because of some of the other players that are on this team. Stewart does get the pitch. We'll start with him. And that is a 1-5. 1-5 is a blank. So we go right to Guerrero. So we'll go right to Guerrero's card. 2-5. Guerrero 2-5. There we go. A question mark 9. So this is a ball hit to right field. Stewart is a righty. Against a righty, Guerrero needs a 1-13 to get some sort of a hit. That is a 12. And a 12-13 is a triple. Guerrero just went ahead and belted one into deep to right field, and it rolls into the corner. Guerrero just got the first hit of the game for the Dodgers, and that is a triple. So Guerrero gets a triple off of Dave Stewart. Stadium cheers. Yay! First hit of the game. So Guerrero goes to third on a triple. And now that'll bring up the pitcher, Orel Hershiser. So now the pitcher is at bat. Hershiser batted 129 as a hitter with 6 RBIs. So now you got a runner on third. The Athletics are going to call the infield in. What this does is this brings in the infielders, preventing a grounder. Guerrero with a base running rating of 2 make you subtract 2 from the infield in, so that makes him a 0. So if it's a ground ball in the infield, no way Guerrero can score. The one problem with infield in, though, it subtracts from the range plays on a ball hit to a ground ball to one of the infielders. That's the problem with infield in. Hershiser, now let's see. Now we will still roll a strategy roll. Who knows? We may get a squeeze. Hershiser does have a bunt rating of 3. Let's see what happens here. Let's roll a strategy die. And that is a 15. Hershiser's bunt rating is a 3. And we'll go ahead and look at the bunt. Look at the bunting chart here. His bunt rating is a 3. Pitchers 14-19. That is a 15. That is a 15. So we're actually going to have a squeeze play. We're going to do a squeeze play. I'm sorry, not Hershiser. You're right. My bad. That's right. Leary's out there. My bad. Hold on. Tim Leary does have his own card. Thank you. That's right. Leary. Leary has a bunt rating of 4. Won't matter. So Tim Leary. And Leary actually has a 269 average and 9 RBIs. Thank you very much, Doug Hunt. Sorry, Old Man Music. Thank you. Because I forgot to remove his card out. So Leary's actually got a bunt rating of 4. With a 269 average, since we're using the hard and fast, I would actually have Leary hit this because he can actually hit the ball. But the 15 does come up, So we're going to go ahead. He's going to do a squeeze play. So let's go ahead and do a squeeze bunt. We're actually going to do a squeeze bunt. So let's see, because we're doing this hard and fast as a demonstration. If this was a regular season game, Leary would be hitting. I would not be squeeze bunting here because Guerrero has a base running rating of 2. But this is exhibition. This is a demonstration. We got to show how this works. That's why the strategy roll should be a suggested, not hard and fast. But Leary's going to go ahead and squeeze bunt. The infield is in, okay, which does make the difference in the bunt. So what you do is now on a bunt, you still roll off the pitcher card like normal. It is a 6-1. Now a 6-1 is a wild pitch. This still gets counted for a bunt attempt. A 6-1 is a possible wild pitch. Dave Stewart has a 1-9 as a wild pitch or a 10-12 pass ball. That is an 8, which means Dave Stewart uncorks a wild pitch. Leary's not going to have to worry about bunting. He throws that to the backstop. Guerrero comes in to score. It's 1-0 Dodgers. Stadium cheers. Yay! A wild pitch thrown by Dave Stewart puts the Dodgers ahead 1-0. Even with the pitcher up. So maybe maybe they saw Leary was going to squeeze bunt. Stewart tried maybe to be a little cute with the pitch, and it wound up bouncing in the dirt and away from the catcher. So now it's a 1-0 game. So now the infield goes, nobody on base, so we move the infield to the back. Still nobody out, but now Leary's just going to swing away. So we re-roll the at-bat. So Stewart is a 4-6 strikeout chance against the righty Leary a 24. +1 is a 25. Well, you know it's a strikeout because the strategy roll the D20 only goes up to 20. So Leary strikes out, but believe it or not, he did his job because he actually got Stewart to maybe uncork one. Thank you there, old man music. You're right. He was thrown out of the game. As I said, correct. I forgot to move his batting card. But like I said, that's okay. So Stewart goes ahead and uncorks a wild pitch, but the Dodgers have a 1-0 lead. Top of the order, here comes Sachs. Sachs is 0 for 1. Stewart will again roll, and that's a 1-1. Again, he uncorks a wild pitch, but with nobody on base, that's ignored, and you just re-roll it. With nobody on base, it becomes ball. Now, there is no hard and fast rule if you throw like 4 wild pitches in a row, which can happen in this game. It's very possible. Chris, in the rule book, he doesn't have a rule for if you happen to throw 4 wild pitches in a row or a pass ball or something like that. If you throw 4 wild pitches in a row, it's a walk. Automatic. But we re-roll, so it's ball 1. Stewart again, 4-1. Now we have a hit by pitch. Sachs' hit by pitch rating is a 1. Stewart is a -6. There's no way for a hit by pitch. It can't go below 0. Well, you can have a 0, it can't go below it. So it goes to a swing for Sachs. Sachs is a 5-1, and that is an S6. That is a base hit right past shortstop through the infield to short, and Sachs does get a hit. So it's the second hit of the inning, and Sachs does go to first on a single. So he goes to first. Here is Griffin. Griffin is 0 for 1. Infield does go to double play depth. We got to see if there's any strategy roll for Sachs. Sachs had 42 stolen bases. He was a threat to steal. And that is a 14. Not happening. Griffin does have a bunt rating of 5. But regulars go as high as 16 on a regular. So there's not going to be a bunt attempt. So Griffin is going to swing away. If you throw a wall of 5 pitches, you should go directly to a brawl chart. Yeah, you think so, Jeff? So no play. There's not going to be anything special. So it's going to be a normal play. Stewart is a 2-2. There we go again with the K. That's a strikeout possibility. Griffin against righties is a 7. +1 is an 8. That's a 1. Stewart recovers and strikes him out. And that is the 4th strikeout for Stewart, and that's 2 away. Now the batter is, I don't believe what I just saw, Gibson. He struck out his first attempt. But now I take off the double play since there are 2 outs. You still roll the strategy die. And that is a 4. Sachs does have a 6. -1 is a 5. He's going to try to steal. 16 -2 is 14. Steinbach, his arm rating is a -2. So it becomes a 12. So Sachs is going to go ahead and take off for second. He has a 1 to 12 to try to steal. If this was a regular season game, I would be letting Gibson swing. I would take off to steal. But this is a demo game. We roll it. And Sachs is safe, and that is a 2. So it's a possible error on Steinbach. A 1 or a 2 is a possible error. And I'll show you here there on a stealing. 1 to 2, runner safe, check catcher for throwing error, 1 base. It's an automatic throwing error if it does occur. If it does roll in the catcher's error rating, you do not roll a range check for the guy that's covering the bag, whether it's a shortstop or second baseman. Some people say have been doing it, but the throw was so bad, it's an automatic error. Steinbach has an error rating of 11 as a catcher. So we roll the D20 again. A 1 to 11, Sachs is going to be on third. It is a 6, and he does. So as a throwing error by Steinbach, so Sachs will go to third on an E2, and that is the first error on the A's. So Sachs does get a throwing error by Steinbach, and he now goes to third base. Gibson still at bat. So far, this demo game is giving us a lot of good stuff. Okay, so Stewart will go ahead and pitch again. We again roll the strat, and that is a 9. Gibson has a bunt rating of 4, and there's not going to be a steal attempt by Sachs of home, so there will not. So it's going to be a normal play. So Stewart, and with the 2 outs, the infield is back. Stewart rolls, and that's a 5-5. That is at the ball. That's an at sign. That's at the ballpark. We now go to Dodger Stadium. We roll on the Dodger Stadium track. A 1-4, and that is a 1-4 in Dodger Stadium is a G6. That's a ground ball to short, and that's going to get taken care of by Weiss. Weiss will go ahead and make the play, throw to first, and end the inning. So 1 run, 2 hits, 1 error, and a wild pitch, and the Dodgers have a 1-0 lead after 3. If you have the version 3 charts, what you should do, Nick, is what you can do is take a pic. If your charts, and you can freeze this on your, I'm going to show you this here right now. Okay, this one and that side. I'll put it out there for a little bit. If your charts don't look like this, you have the old version. Okay, contact Chris. Maybe send him an email. Okay, send him an email. Tell him you need the new charts, or maybe even want to get a new copy of the game, just the game parts. We will also get the new field that he has and all that. You know, if your chart does not look like mine, then you have the older charts. Chris Davis. One thing about Chris Davis. When he was creating version 3 of his game, he was going to his entire customer base, asking for suggestions, asking for help, what he'd like to see in the version 3. There are not many game companies out there that will ask their customers what they would like to see in a new version. He didn't take every suggestion. Of course. It's his game, but he took a lot of suggestions. One of the suggestions he took was from me, where I mentioned that on pop fly balls, okay, on pop outs, okay, in a pop fly ball, on a possible error on a fly ball to center field, or no, fly ball to the outfield, it had to be an odd number. He did not have that for pop fly balls on the infield. I mentioned that to him. He put that in his game. He is okay. There are not many game creators that will listen to the customer base on how to improve their game. Not many of them do that. He did, and he took a lot of suggestions from me, from other people as well. Rick Query, I know he took a suggestion from. He took suggestions, I think he even took one from Baseball Demos. I don't know which one, but I do know that he took. I know I mentioned, I think, a suggestion, I think, concerning I think concerning the arm rating or something. I'm not sure, but he did take suggestions. Ask him any question you have in the forums, or email him. He will give you an answer. We go to the top of the fourth. Dodgers lead 1-0. Leary back on the mound. And now we have Dave Henderson batting for the Athletics, and he is 0 for 1. So Tim Leary will continue to pitch. It is a 2-5. A 2-5 is a K with the walk sign in parentheses. This is if the pitcher is fatigued. In a normal baseball game, Leary would be used, because I brought him in for a toss out of Hershiser. I would have been using this instead. Because this is an exhibition game, I'm relaxing some of the rules for the sake of demonstration. This would be a walk chance instead of a strikeout chance if Leary is over his batting mark. Also, this would remove Leary from the games that I use if a pitcher is fatigued and any parentheses comes up. Okay, it automatically the pitcher is exhausted and he is taken out. But this is going to be a strikeout chance, not a walk chance, because Leary is he's still kind of fresh. So it's a strikeout chance. Against righties, Henderson is an 11, plus 1 is a 12. That's a 5. Leary struck him out. And that is Leary's second strikeout. And there is one away. Ronald Spersky joins us here in the chat. Good to see you there, Mr. Spersky. Happy New Year to you, of course. And, of course, Happy New Year to everybody in the chat. Here's Canseco, and he is 0 for 1. So we roll for Leary. Leary a 5-4. Again, an RP, that is a range play. So now we go to Canseco's card. Canseco rolls a 6-3. A 6-3 is a question mark 7. This is a ball hit the left field. As I said, the first thing you should do is see. Now you can do it in reverse. You could find out first if the fielder makes a play and then roll to see what it is. But really, in my opinion, you need to know what the possibility is before you get a fielder making the play. There's a ball hit the left. Against the righty, Canseco, though, a 1-19, he belts this. He gets a hit. So there's a fly ball to left field. That is a 10. Against the righty, Canseco is going to hit a possible double. Now, that is a double to left field because it's a 10 against the righty. But the left fielder is Gibson. Gibson in left field is a 4 range. It's a range play, so Gibson gets a chance to make a play. A 1-4, Gibson turns this into an out. It is a 1. He makes it with no problem at all, bad legs at all, and he goes ahead, makes the play out there in left field, and it turns out to be a fly out to left, and that is the second out. Gibson makes another big range play out there in left field. Takes a double away from Canseco. 2 outs, and that'll bring up Doug Jennings, who came in for the ejected Mark McGwire. As of course everything is hard and fast. Doug Jennings is 0 for 1. He took over at first base for the A's. So Leary goes ahead and roll, and it's a 1-3, and it's a split chance. Against the righty, it's a blank. Against the lefty, it's a super walk. Jennings is a lefty, so it's a walk plus. Against the righty, Jennings is an 18. -1 is a 17, but you're going to add 10 to that, which makes it a 27, and that's going to be an automatic walk. So Jennings actually draws a base on balls. That is, I believe, the second walk issued by Leary. And now the batter is Weiss. Weiss is 0 for 1. There are 2 outs, so the infield will stay back. We're still rolling a chance for steal. For still rolling a strategy roll. And that is a 5. Well, Jennings is a 1-0, and there's not going to be a chance for a hit and run or anything like that. Or is there? Let's see here. 1, and it's a 0, and that is a 5. Against the righty, Weiss is a 9, +1 is a 10. This is where you check the hit and run. He created a new hit and run chart to make the hit and runs a little bit more viable. Since a strikeout rating is a 10, you're only going to add 2 to the attempt rating for a hit, 2 to the rating. So it would have to be a 3 for a hit and run be attempted. That is a 5. However, there are 2 outs anyway, so you don't do hit and runs with 2 outs. So you avoid that, and so but that's to show what a hit and run would possibly look like. So now you roll for Leary. Leary is a 4-6, and that is a strikeout chance against a righty. Weiss is a 9, plus 1 is a 10. That's an 18. It's too high. Weiss does not strike out. He gets to roll a 2-4, and that is a star line 2, a double star 2, and you go to the pitcher card, which is a under 2, and that's a grounder to second. So the ball is picked up by Sachs, and he throws a routine out at first to retire the side. Nothing across except a walk. And we will go to the bottom of the 4th inning in this demo game. Hope everybody is enjoying the demo game. As I said, any questions, please ask. So bottom of the 4th inning, Oakland back in the field. And Marshall's going to lead off, and he walked his first time up. Stewart's got plenty of gas in the tank. He'll continue to pitch. So Stewart is a 2-1. That is a blank. We'll go to the batter card. Marshall, 2-1, and that is a P4. That's a pop fly ball in the infield. That's a pop out to second base, and Hubbard is going to get to that. And that's going to be 1 out. So far, we actually got ourselves a pitcher's duel through the first 4 innings of this game. Here's Shelby. Shelby grounded to a double play his first time up. He's 0 for 1. Stewart, 4-4. E. Now, here we have an E question mark. This is a possible error. This error can occur anywhere, okay, on a grounder, a single, a ball hit to the outfield. It's an overall error. So we know an error is possible. We now go to the batter card to see where the ball was hit. 5-1. This is a fly ball to center field. It's an F8. So this is a ball hit to center. But we got to check to see if an error is made. The center fielder for Oakland is Henderson. Henderson in 7th has an error rating of a 3 in center field. But this is a fly out. The only way you can have an error is on a 3 or a 1. Since on a fly ball to the outfield, it has to be an odd number in order for it to be an error, since not many outfielders dropped a lot of pop flies. So you go to the D20. That is a 6. It's higher than Henderson's error rating, so that's going to be a fly out to center with no error, and that is the second out. Next up is Sosha. He walked his first time up. You're very welcome there, Mr. Nick. Stewart will go ahead to pitch. Stewart a 3-1, and again, now we have an RP. It's a range play. So now we go to Sosha's card. 2-6, and that is a G4. So it's a range play check to second base. The infield is back, so it's normal range. Second baseman range for the Athletics is Hubbard, and he had excellent range at second. He had a range of a 5, very good range. He was excellent at that position. So a 1-5, he will make the play. It is a 3. Hubbard makes it with no problem, so he grabs it and throws to first for the out. A ground out to second, and a 1-2-3 inning on the Dodgers, and it remains 1-0 after 4. We now go to the 5th inning. Dodgers are back in the lineup, or in the field, I should say. Leary on the mound. Stan Javier leads off. He walked and stole a base his first time up. Leary, a 6-4, and that is an S1 in parentheses. This only occurs if the pitcher is fatigued or tired. Leary is not tired, so this becomes a blank. If he was fatigued, this would be an automatic single up the middle, and I would automatically remove the pitcher because I use that rule, that optional rule. But he is not fatigued, so this is not a single. It goes as a blank. You now go to the batter card, and that is a 2-6. And that is a G4, and that's a ground out to second. Steinbach is up next. He's 0 for 1. There's 1 out in the inning. So Steinbach is next. Leary pitches a 4-6. A 4-6 is a K. That is a strikeout chance against a righty. Steinbach is a 9. +1 is a 10. That is a 4. Leary strikes him out for another strikeout for Leary, who's come on very well so far in relief for Orel Hershiser being tossed. Batter now is Hubbard. He's 0 for 1, lined out his first time up. Leary a 2-1 strikeout chance against the righty. Hubbard is a 9. +1 is a 10. That's an 11. He does not strike out. Hubbard gets the swing. 3-4, and that's an S9. That is a base hit to right field, a single to right. And that is the first hit for the Athletics. They've not had any hits. That's the first hit for them. That's a base hit by Hubbard. He gets a single. He'll go to first. And that is a base hit. And that's the first hit of the game for the A's. They've had base runners, but no hits. That brings up the pitcher, Dave Stewart. And I'm going to let him bat here. So I'm going to use, again, the pitcher hitting card, even though this is an exhibition game. This will probably be Dave Stewart's last at bat. I'll probably bring in a pinch hitter after this. But he will bat here with Hubbard on at first. And even though he uses the worst pitcher hitting card, a failed range play or something off the ballpark, you can still get a hit. You still roll the strategy die. And that is a 9. Hubbard is a 1. Nothing happened. There's not going to be a steal or a hit and run with 2 outs, obviously. And, of course, there's not a bunt. There's not going to be a steal. The only thing we're rolling for really is a steal. You don't bunt with 2 outs anyway. So you check to see if there was maybe a steal attempt, but he's not going. So Leary will pitch. 6-5. And now Leary has a split chance. Against the lefty, that is a blank. Against a righty, it's a home run result. Stewart is a righty. So that would be a home run check, a home run result. However, with pitcher hitting card number 0, he has no chance of hitting a home run unless, of course, the ballpark gives him a chance, but Dodger Stadium does not. So that becomes a blank on a home run result. You check the hitting card, and against the righty, it's a 0. So that becomes a blank. So now you just roll it. It's a 2-5, and that is going to a weak fly ball. Dave Stewart thought he was going to maybe get something to hit. He does, but it's just a shallow fly ball into center field, and that's going to retire the side. So no runs and a hit for the Athletics. And we will go, 1 man left on, we will go to the bottom of the 5th. If this was actually a World Series game, I probably would have had somebody else bat in place of Stewart in a World Series game. If this was an actual World Series game between these two. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Dodgers have a 1-0 lead. Close matchup here for this demo game. So Jeff Hamilton is up. He struck out his first time up. Oakland now in the field. So Stewart, he will pitch. It's a 2-6. EG ? Error on a grounder. Possible error on a grounder. So now we go to Hamilton's card. Hamilton is a 4-4. And Hamilton comes up. 4-4 is an L4. So again, that's a line drive right to second base. There's no error chance. It's a line out. And that's going to be the first out as Hamilton hits it right to Hubbard. 1 out. Here comes Guerrero. Guerrero got a triple his last time up and scored. He's 1 for 1. Stewart will pitch. Stewart a 2-6. And again a 2-6, an error on a grounder ? So now we go to Guerrero's card. 2-1. 2-1 is a P4. That's a pop fly ball to second base. Obviously, it's an error on a grounder, so there's no need to check for an error. And he pops out to Hubbard at second, and there are 2 down. Next batter is Leary. Since he's pitching well, I'll let him bat. Stewart will go ahead and pitch. Stewart is a 6-3. Split chance. Against the lefty, it's a walk plus. Against the righty, it's a blank. Leary is listed righty as a thrower. But again, I don't know if he actually batted lefty, but I will go with the right. I do kind of wish that he did put the bat, how the pitchers did bat, if they did have a batting card. Very well, that's okay. I'm going to say he batted righty. So against the righty, that's going to be a blank. Leary, however, was a good hitter. That's a 1-5, and he actually does come through with a hit. That's an S3, and that's going to be a single pass first. Leary was one of the better hitting pitchers that year in 88. He had a 269 average, so Leary helps his own cause with a base hit. So Leary goes to first, and now we have sacks. And again, good to have everybody in the chat. Happy New Year to everybody. For those of you that have joined in late that I've not said Happy New Year to you. Sacks is 1 for 2. He's got a single and reached third on an error trying to steal a base. So actually has a stolen base and reached next base on an error. We are still rolling the strategy rolls, but with 2 outs, the infield is going to be back. And that is a 6. Leary has an attack rating of 1. -1 is a 0. Sacks has a strikeout rating of 6. It's not going to be as high. It's not going to reach the hit and run anyway with 2 outs. So it's going to be a normal pitch. Stewart is a 3-5. Stewart against the lefty is an automatic out. Split chance. Against the righty, it's a blank. Sacks is a righty. That's a blank. We go to the batter card. 5-4 for Sacks. And Sacks gets an S4. That is a single past second. So we have a base hit. On an S1 to S6, you don't need to worry about this chart. You just go to the runner advancement charts here. On an S4, Tim Leary has a base running rating of 1, but with 2 outs, it becomes a 2. It's an S4. It's a single pass second. So we'll check the chart. Single pass second to get from first to third, you need to be a 3 to a 6 in order to get to third base. Leary is a 2 with 2 outs instead of 1. He will not get to third base. He will make second, and he will hold. Unlike some other games where it says single 1-star or single 2-star, Leary would automatically make it to third. But because Leary was mud, he doesn't get to third base, even though he did take off with the crack of the back, but he still has to hold at second. So Leary at second base and Sacks on at first. That is a base hit for Sacks. That's Sacks' second hit of the game. He's now 2 for 3. And the batter now is Griffin. You can see how the base running really comes into effect here. It really depends on the base runner, on the speed of the runner. Now, of course, in some games you have the option to go ahead and take an extra base. That's actually pretty nice. There are some games where you have the option where it says, okay, it's a single 1-star, but maybe you want to try to see if you can get the third base. That's actually pretty good. That gives you a choice. If you want to go ahead and give yourself the choice, I guess you could if you want. I'd say, oh, maybe you want to add a house rule. Well, maybe I want to try to get Leary to third. If that's the case, then I would just roll the base running rating. If you want to do it that way, if you want to incorporate some of the mechanics from other games into inside pitch, you can if you want to do it that way. And that's fine. Inside pitch is very customizable. Make it the game you want. As David Baseball Demo says, choose the game you want the way you choose to play it. Griffin is up next. He's 0 for 2. But here in this game, I'm showing you the rules hard and fast. So Leary on at second, Sacks on at first, Stewart in a little bit of trouble. Still 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. We still roll the strategy die. And that is an 8. Well, Leary is not stealing anything with an attempt rating of 1. And plus, on a steal to third, it's divided by half. So there is no strategy roll here. Wouldn't matter. There's no hit and runs with 2 outs or bunts. So Stewart is going to pitch. Stewart is a 3-4, and that is a blank. We'll go to Alfredo Griffin's card. Griffin is a 6-3, and a 6-3 is a G5. So that's going to be a ground ball to third. And usually what I do in this case is Tim Leary has a base running rating of 1. Sacks is a 4. Griffin's a 5. I'm going to say it was a ground ball to third. And since Leary is as slow as mud. I'm just going to say that Lansford tags the bag and ends the inning, gets the force out at third and ends the inning. So no runs, 2 hits for the Dodgers. After 5, it is still 1-0. Clee baseball fan Tim 879 joins us here at Dodger Stadium for the demo game. So Dave Stewart, by the way, Dave Stewart's nickname was Smoke, by the way, and he gets out of the jam. We go to the top of the 6th inning, a pitcher's duel here. 1-0 in this demo game between the A's and the Dodgers. The one thing about these inside pitch cards, they are the thing about these inside pitch cards, the card stock he uses, I got to admit, they are not slippery. They are very slippery when I first get them until the skin from the oil from my skin starts running on these cards, and then they're so much easier to handle. It takes a whole season for these cards to really start getting their use. Trust me, when all the other seasons, if you look at all the other seasons I've done so far for inside pitch, 85, 76, 79, you look at those cards for those seasons, they were used. But not too badly, because I do take care of my stuff. I try to keep each card clean and not destroyed in any way. We go to the top of the 6th. Dodgers lead 1-0, and at the top of the order for the Athletics, here's Lansford. Lansford is 0 for 2. Dodgers in the field. Not much in hits, not much in offense today. 5-4, and Leary. Again, RP is a range play. So then we go to Lansford. Lansford is a 4-3. This is an L5. It's a line drive right to third. Third baseman for the for the Dodgers is Hamilton. His range is a 4. So a 1-4, this is going to be an out. It is a 6. So that actually goes by the range play. So now it's past him. It's a line drive to third. So now you got to roll to see if this is a single or a double. A 1-4 is a single. A 5-6 is a double. It is a 3. So Lansford hits one out of the range of Hamilton. It goes into the outfield, and Lansford gets the first with a base hit. So a leadoff single for Lansford, and that will bring up Henderson. You're trying to get Chris to sell you boxes for each season. I have boxes. I got all my boxes from Uline there, Brian B. I ordered a whole bunch of 4-inch boxes, and I could put about two seasons in each one. I think you really should just go ahead and just order Uline. Go to Uline and just go to Uline and maybe get some card boxes and such. You can use Uline. From which chart do you get the 1-4 on the line drive? Good question. On a range play, you go to this chart here and failed successful range check roll. And here you go. There's the roll 1d6. 1-4 is a single. 5-6 is a double. Thank you there, Guru Nick. So you can actually see where you get this roll here on the failed or successful range check rolls. 1-4 is a single, and 5-6 is a double. Thank you for bringing that up. So Lansford's on at first. Infield will go to double play depth. Henderson the batter. He's 0 for 2. We got to see if there's anything on the strategy roll. And that is a 3. And yes, there is. Lansford is a 5. Leary is a 0. It is a steal attempt for Carney Lansford. He has a 16. Plus 2 from Leary makes him an 18. Sosha has a -2 arm. So a 1-16 is what Lansford needs to steal. And that is a 5. Lansford will go ahead and steal, and he will get into scoring position with a stolen base. And I probably would have had Lansford steal in that situation. So Lansford steals second base, and now we roll a strategy roll again. But now the double play is taken off. The infield will move back. Strategy roll is a 7. That's not going to beat. Lansford is a 5. In order to try to steal third, it would be a 2 or lower because his try to steal third would be a 2.5 and you round down. And of course, and I don't do hit and runs with runners on. You're not supposed to really do hit and runs with runners on second. You could if you want, but I don't. JT 2.0 joins us here. Happy New Year to you there, sir. So it's going to be a normal play. So Leary will pitch. 1-1. That is an RP question mark. This is a range play, but at the park. So now we go to Dodger Stadium to see what happens here. 1-6. It's an F8. This is a fly ball to center field. Fly ball to center. The center fielder is Shelby. John Shelby's range is a 3. So this is a range play at the park. So a 1-3, Shelby, okay, makes the catch. A 4-6, this is going to be a single or a double. It is a 3. He makes the catch, so it's going to be a fly out to center. Now, Lansford, the question is, does he try to take third? On a fly ball to center field, Lansford has a base run. It's a base run rating of 4. But on a fly ball to center field, flyouts in this chart, runner on second, less than 2 outs, roll 3d6. Modifier F8 -2. And of course the throwing arm. Because you take the adjusted base running rating. ABR stands for adjusted base running rating, which means the base running rating plus or minus the throwing arm. The throwing arm. So he has a -2 already on a fly out to center, which makes him a 2. Shelby has an arm rating of 0. So it would be a 1-2 for Lansford to take third. So I'll go ahead and roll and see if he takes third. A 1-2 he does. A 3-5 he stays home. A 6 there could be an out. It is a 6. Now, when a 6 is rolled on this, it's got to be a double 6. So in this case here, it's got to be a roll of 66. So now I roll the die a second time. If this is also a 6, there's a possible throw out at third. It is a 3. He does not. He holds up. So Lansford will stay at second base. The throw came in hard to third base and decided to stay put. So there is 1 out, but he's still at second base on a nice play by Shelby. Kirk wanted to do laundry. Wanted to add your 2 cents. I was keep all silicone pouches that come in retail packaging. Yes, so do I. Like I said, I have every one of my cards is in bags. All my decks, all my cards are in bags. Okay, that's how I keep them throughout the season, and of course in the boxes. If I usually eat in my room, so if any food comes in or something like that, it's going to get on the bag. Trust me, the cards are pretty well protected. And of course, when I put the cards away, I fold the bags like this, fold it over, rubber band them, and they'll be safe for use. Now the batter is Canseco. He's 0 for 2 with 1 out. We will roll a strategy roll again, and that is a 17. Canseco has a bunt rating of 2, and as a regular, bunt rating of 2 has to be a 19. He will not be bunting. He will swing away, and I wouldn't have him bunt anyway in the situation. Oh, I have rubber bands, but they're on the outside there, Guru, Nick. So, give you an example. I think I have do I have a rubber band a rubber band here somewhere? So, I mean, I don't rubber band the cards on the inside. I fold them over like this, like that, and rubber band them on the outside. So the rubber bands are going are around the bag. They're not touching the cards. And these bags they're not going to rot away. And the rubber bands I use are also very thin. Very thin rubber bands. And very weak. Just enough to keep them close so they can fit in the box. So here's Canseco. So now Leary will pitch. Leary a 2-6. This is a strikeout chance against a righty. Canseco is an 11 plus 1 is a 12. That's a 17. He does not strike out. He does get the hit. 1-3. And a 1-3 is a 2-star 5. It was a double star 5 or an automatic out. And that's a double star 5. Leary on a star line of 5 is a ground ball to second. So it's a grounder to second. It's picked up by Sachs. He throws to first. Now on ground with a runner on second base, runner on second, runner advances on balls hit to first, second base, or catcher. So it's a ground ball to second. So Lansford automatically will go to third. There are some games that say that if the ball is hit to the right side, the runner on second may not advance to third base. It's a possibility. I don't know why the runner would not advance to third base on a ball hit to the right side. They're going to take the out at first. So there are 2 outs, and now you have Weiss. I'm sorry, no, now you have Jennings, because Weiss is batting 5th here. So ground ball to second, but Lansford moves to third. So now here's Jennings, who's in place of McGuire, who got ejected. I may make a new rule that anytime a 65 shows up, I may just treat that as a hit and pitch, a hit by pitch. If a 65 shows up once, I may just make that a warning. If a 65 shows up twice, then you may have the bench clearing brawl. I think on a range play, a 1 out of 36 chance of bench clearing brawl doesn't really happen most. I may make that rule. So here is Jennings, the official Stratomatic rubber bands. I got better officials. I have better rubber bands than what they provide. Their rubber bands are actually too strong sometimes. I think they damage the cards. I also have my Stratomatic cards in rubber banded in the Stratomatic box I have. And yes, I am so sorry, Nicholas. My apologies to you. Maybe I'll try to get a Stratomatic game here before I start the inside pitch season on Tuesday, because you're begging me to do a Stratomatic game. Chris DeMello joins us here. Is that the only chart for inside pitch, not counting the instruction manual? Well, no. Well, you have the charts on this side, which helps you with the errors and such, but that's really it. That's really it. The information you need is right here. There's no flipping pages. There really is no major charts. It just helps you. It just helps you get the final result you need. The only charts in this game that decides a play is the bunt and the squeeze bunt chart. Everything else is done by the dice. So now Lansford's on at third, Jennings at the plate. We still roll the strategy die, but there are 2 outs, so the infield is back. And that is a 20. Now a 20 is a possible pickoff. The rules of pickoffs in this game, okay, is you always throw to the runner, to the base where there's an open base. Well, there's no runner on first, there's no runner on second. There aren't that many pickoffs on third, but I have seen them done. They do happen. You now check Tim Leary's pickoff rating. You roll a D20 again. A 1 to 6 would be a balk. A 7 would be a pickoff. And there's nothing ever a pickoff error. In this kind of situation, I would think with a runner on third, I kind of think that Leary throws to the catcher, and then the catcher throws to third to try to pick off Lansford. So it's a pickoff chance. So so now you roll the 20. It is a 10. So there's nothing here above it. So they kind of try to pick off Lansford at third, but he gets back, and now you roll the pitch normally. Leary a 6-2, and that is a K. It's a strikeout chance. Against the righty, Jennings is a 15. Plus 1 is a 16. That is a 16, and because of the stadium that Jennings is at, that becomes, to me, that is a called strike 3, and Jennings is called out at the plate on strikes. And that retires the side. That's going to be strikeout number 4 for Leary. He did have 180 Ks and only 52 walks in 1988. He does strike out Jennings due to the ballpark. And that retires the side, and Lansford is stranded at third. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Bottom of the 6th inning, Stewart. He can pitch to 30 batters, and he is still looking pretty good. Stewart's just fine. He's got plenty in the tank. Kirk, I don't believe what I just saw. Gibson is up, and he is 0 for 2. So Stewart will continue to pitch. It's still 1-0 here. A pitcher's duel here in this demo game. I remember the last demo game I did between the Yankees and the Reds for 1961. That was actually a high-scoring game, if I'm correct. There were a lot of hits in that one. So Stewart will go ahead and pitch. That's a 2-5. And 2-5 is a walk plus. So Gibson against the righties a 13. -1 makes him a 12, but it's a walk plus, so you add 10, which makes him a 22. That, of course, is an automatic walk, and Gibson will trot to first. That is the third walk given up by Stewart. And now the batter is Marshall. Infield goes a double play depth. Gibson does have steal ability, so let's roll a strategy roll. With strategy rolls are still on. That's a 3. Gibson is a 4. -1 is a 3. He is going to get the steal. 18 -2 is 16. Steinbach has a -2 arm, so it's a 14. So Gibson's going a 1 to 14. He is safe. It is a 9. He steals. Normally, I probably wouldn't have had him steal, but we're using a hard strategy roll hard and fast. Stolen base for busted legs Gibson. Bases loaded. Who do you pick off? Third base. Third base. The reason why, because it has to go to a to me, since the rule he has is it goes to the runner with an open base. I mean, you can really choose who you want, but to me, it's third base with bases loaded, because the home plate is considered an open base when the bases are loaded. So Gibson on its second. That takes away the double play. So infield moves back. And now we'll re-roll the strat again. That is a 16. Marshall is a bunt rating of 1. That's not going to be in the bunt. So we will go ahead. Stewart, it will be a normal play. So Stewart will pitch. That's a 6-4. 6-4 again is a walk plus. Against the righty, Marshall's a 6. Plus 10 is 16, -1 is a 15. That is a 20. He does not walk. Marshall will swing. 6-3, and that is a G5. That is a ground ball to third. Now, with a runner on second, runner advances on ball, hit the third base on 6, roll only. So it's a ground ball to third. The throw is going over to first no matter what. We roll a C. If a 6 is rolled, Gibson does go to third base. It is a 5. He does not. So it's a ground ball to third. It's picked up by Lansford. He throws to first for the out. 1 down, and Gibson has to stay at second base. Next batter is Shelby. Shelby is 0 for 2. Still rolling the strategy roll. That's a 20. Stewart gets a pickoff chance. He's going to turn around and try to get Gibson. Stewart does balk a lot, though. A 1 to 12 is a balk. 13 to 14 is a pickoff. 15 is an error. It is a 14. He got him. Stewart turns around, fires to second, and got Gibson napping. Oh, he got him. Picked him off. 2 outs. Stewart picks off Gibson at second base. 2 down. That's a big run. Removed at second base. Stadium groans. And now Shelby gets the swing with nobody on base. But now it's 2 outs. Strategy rolls are no longer used. Stewart 1-6. Range play at the park. Now go to Dodger Stadium. 4-1. Dodger Stadium. Single plus 9. Now this is a base. This is a single plus, or I could call it you could call this a single plus double if you want to call it, or a super single. Either way, it's a single plus to right field, which means Shelby has to try to take second, has to roll to see if he takes second. But it's also a range play. It's also a range play at the park. Now, first thing we got to do and see if he makes the play. So it's a single possible double to right field, but it's a range play. Canseco is in right. His range is a 3. Canseco's in right field. His range is a 3. So the first thing you should do is see if he makes the play. So a 1 to 3, he is out. It's a 5. So Shelby does get on base. Now Shelby has to try to get to second. His base running rating is a 3. Canseco has a 0 arm. Now, even though there are 2 outs, the +1 does not come into effect for the batter, only for runners. So his range is a 3. So a 1 to 3, Shelby will take second. A 4 to 5, he holds a 6, or could be an out. It is a 1. Shelby will go ahead and take second base on the ball hit to a deep part of the park where Shelby believed he could take second base. How big was that pickoff? So I'll mark that as a double for Shelby, as he will get to second base on the play. ET question mark. With runner on first, do you check error rating on fielder and pivot man both? Yes, you do. You do check for runner on first, for the first batter, for the first fielder for making the first throw and the second. But remember, you got to roll the double play die first to see where the ball was thrown to. He may not have gotten a double play. It may have just been a thrown to first, okay, or a force. So you got to see, you first roll the double play die to see where the ball was thrown to first before you roll for the fielder and the pivot man, because there may not have been, the pivot man may not have come into play. So Stewart is up. So Shelby goes to second base on a single plus to right field, and that allows Scioscia to come up to bat. How big was that pickoff? That would have been an automatic run score from second base, because on a single plus off the ballpark card, it is an automatic 2-base advancement for the runners. You don't roll to see if the runners score on a single plus. So here's Scioscia. He's 0 for 1 with a walk. Strategy rolls are still active. That's a 19. Scioscia actually has a bunt rating of 4. But with 2 outs, he's not going to bunt. If it was 1 out, because I'm using the strategy die hard and fast, he would have been bunting. Of course, normally I wouldn't have been doing it because it's suggested. But with 2 outs, he doesn't bunt. Scioscia will get the swing. So Stewart, he rolls, and that's a 5-5. Again, it's an @ sign. It's at the park. So now we go to Dodger Stadium. Roll again, a 4-3, and that is a 2-star 5. So that's going to be an automatic out. The 5, it's a fly ball to center field. Henderson will get to it, and he will make the catch and retire the side. So no runs. There was 1 hit, a stolen base, a walk, and a pickoff. The Dodgers still have a 1-0 lead after 6. Pitchers duel here at Dodger Stadium for this demo game. Who knows what the regular season is going to bring? As we now go to the top of the 7th inning. No problem there, Brian B. You go ahead there. I know football starting very shortly. I knew this game would be about 2 hours, at least 2 hours to play. But I'm going to continue doing it. I'll catch my Dolphins as soon as I'm done here. So we go to the top of the 7th, 1-0 Dodgers. Leary back on the mound. Here is Weiss. Weiss is 0 for 2. So again, we roll for Leary, and it's a 2-4. Leary, K is a strikeout chance. Against a righty, Weiss is a 9. +1 is a 10. That's a 12. He does not strike out. He will roll. 2-3, and that's an F9. That's a fly ball to right. That'll get taken care of by Guerrero. Next up is Javier. He is 0 for 1 with a walk. Leary, of course, gets the pitch. 3-6. That again is A. That's an at the park sign. We go to Dodger Stadium. Dodger Stadium, a 2-4. That's a G4. That's a ground ball to second, handled by Sachs. 2 outs. Dodgers taking care of business here today. That'll bring up Steinbach. Steinbach is 0 for 2. Leary gets the pitch. Leary, a 5-2. Leary, a K on a 5-2 is a strikeout chance. Against the righty, Steinbach is a 9. +1 is a 10. That's a 19. He does not strike out. Steinbach, a 4-1. It's a split chance. Against the righty, it's a ground ball to short. It's a ground out to short. If Leary was a lefty, that would be a base hit. But since Leary's a righty, that is a ground ball to short, taken care of there by Griffin. Throws to first. Another 1-2-3 inning for Leary. And we are at the 7th inning stretch. I'm not going to, but this is a demo game. I'm going to speed it up just a little bit here. We're going to go to the bottom of the 7th. Dodgers have a 1-0 lead. Again, I would like to let you guys, I would like to let you guys know, remember, I did say that January 9th was going to be opening day. We're going to make it January 10th since TCU and Georgia play the College Football National Championship. I do want to watch that. So opening day will be moved to January 10th for the season. So we'll start on January 10th will be opening day for the 1988 season. Bottom of the 7th, Jeff Hamilton leads off for the Dodgers. I'm going to let Stewart continue to pitch. Hamilton is 0 for 2. Stewart will pitch, and that is a 1-3. That is a home run question mark on a home run, or I say a home run chance. Home run chance is off the pitcher card. Home run result is off the batter card automatically. Home run question mark. So you go to this section here for the pitcher. Hamilton is a righty. You check the D20. A 1-9, Stewart makes a mistake and puts this over the plate. That is a 14. It is too high, so Stewart does not put it over the plate. It becomes treated as a blank, and you go to the batter card. 2-3, and Hamilton is an F8. That's a fly ball to center. So Hamilton does get a good chunk of it, but it's just a lazy fly ball to center, and that is out number 1. Guerrero is up next. He is 1 for 2. He's got a triple and scored on a wild pitch. He's responsible for the only runner in the game. Stewart, 3-4. That is a blank. We go to Guerrero's card. 6-6 for Guerrero. It's a double star 6, star line 6. We go to Stewart's card. And a 6 is an F9. That's a fly out to right. The thing about Dave Stewart's card, you knew that according to his star line, you knew he was a fly out pitcher, but he did give up the occasional grounder. But he's more of a fly ball pitcher than he is a ground ball pitcher. So there are now 2 outs. Tim Leary is an excellent batter. He has got maybe a couple of batters left before he tires. So the way he's pitching, I think I'm going to let him bat. I think I'm going to let Leary bat. He did come in a little late for Hershiser. So I'm going to let him. I think he's got like 4 batters left before he gets tired, since I'm using his starting rating instead of his relief rating. So I'm going to let him bat. So Stewart is going to pitch to Leary. Stewart is 6-3. Again, a split chance. Against the righty, it's a blank. Against the lefty, it's a walk plus. Leary is a righty, so that's going to be a blank. Leary a 5-4, and Leary hits his second base hit of the game. It's a single 3. It's a ball hit past first base. Leary gets his second hit. As I said, he can hit the ball. He was a good hitter for a pitcher at 269. That's pretty good for pitchers. So Leary goes ahead and gets his second hit of the ball game. He's now 2 for 3 as a hitter, and that will bring up Sachs. Sachs is 2 for 3. He's got 2 singles, stole a base. So still, but 2 outs here. Strategy rolls are still active. And that is a 16. Leary's not going to do anything. He has a temp rating as 1. But you still got to roll for strategy anyway to see if Stewart tries to pick him off. Even if You always roll for strategy roll if it's still in there for pickoff chances. Unless, of course, the strategy roll is no longer needed. Stewart, a 5-6, and it's a split chance. Against a righty, it's a blank. Against a lefty, it's an automatic out. Sachs is a righty, it's a blank. Sachs will get the hit. It's a 2-6, and Steve Sachs is a P4. That's a pop fly ball at the second. Hubbard will get to that one. He will make the catch, and that will end the inning. No runs and a hit for the Dodgers. It stays 1-0 in this demo game of Inside Pitch. 1988 season will begin next week on Tuesday. I've already got the schedule block and everything ready to go. And, of course, FastScore is ready as well. And we go to the 8th inning. So we go to the top of the 8th. Dodgers in the field. Leary's going to continue to pitch. Glenn Hubbard will bat, and he is 1 for 2. He has a single. Leary with the pitch. That's a 3-2. Leary is a split chance. Against a righty, it's a walk. Against the lefty, it's a blank. Hubbard is a righty, so that's a walk chance. Hubbard against righties is a 15. -1 is a 14. That is a 15, so the stadium prevents Hubbard from getting a walk. He is a 14. That is a 15. Hubbard does not get the walk. He gets the swing, though. 6-4, and he has a split rating. Against the lefty, it's a base hit past the pitcher. Against the righty, it's a ground out to the pitcher. Leary's a righty, and that is a ground ball. So Dodger Stadium prevents Hubbard from getting first base. It's a comebacker back to Leary, and that is 1 out. Dave Stewart is due to bat, but that's going to be it for him, as he is next to hit, but that's going to be it, as we're now in the 8th inning. So Stewart will not come up to bat, and the A's will set up a pinch hitter. My rule is most at bats against the handedness of the pitcher. But since this is a exhibition game, it won't matter. So coming on to pinch hit for the Athletics will be Luis Polonia, a .292 average, 2 homers, 27 RBIs. He's a switch hitter. So Polonia will go up against Leary, as the pitcher's spot in this game was 0 for 2, as the A's will turn it over to the bullpen. Go Browns. Okay. So Leary will pitch to Polonia. So Leary will make a pitch, and that's a 1-2. 1-2 is a blank. We'll go to Polonia's card. 4-5. Polonia, and that's going to come up through. That's going to be a single into left field. That is a base hit. So Polonia comes through with a pinch hit single, as Tony La Russa makes the correct choice here to bring in Polonia and get a hit. So now that brings up Lansford. Lansford is 1 for 3, a single and a stolen base. Infield goes to double play depth. Polonia does have stolen bases. He has a high stolen base rating. Strategy roll is up, and that is a 12. He does not get the stolen base chance. His rating is an 8. Lansford is a 4, +1 is a 5. You add 3 to the 8 to make it an 11 to see if it was a hit and run possibility. But that's a 12. He doesn't get the hit and run, so it's going to be a normal out. It's going to be a normal pitch. Leary with the pitch. 6-4. 6-4 is a S1 in parentheses. Leary is not tired. Not tired yet. He would be after Henderson. So that it becomes a blank. He is not tired. So Lansford will get the hit. 1-5, and that is a single into right field. We finally get a chance to see what happens on hits to the outfield with a runner on base. It's a single 9. So here we go. So now we're going to do it. I'm going to first do it the hard way. It's a single to right. Polonia has a base running rating of 4. Let's go to the chart. A single to right field is a +2, which makes it a 6. Now you check the right fielder's arm, which is Guerrero. Guerrero has a right fielder arm rating of 0. So that is a 6. So that is a 6. Okay, so it's an automatic 6. There's not going to be a throw. Polonia would automatically get the third. Now we checked my card. It's a single to right field with the Dodgers, and you can see here on S9, 1 to 3, a +2. So Polonia is a 4, +2 is a 6. There's not going to be a throw. Polonia will automatically make it to third, and Lansford goes to first. That's it. That's it. That's all you do. I showed you the hard way, and then I showed you how this card comes up. As I said, that's a +2. So Polonia, on a single to right, he's automatically a third. It's 2 bases, and that's it. So now the Athletics have a chance to do something here on a base hit by Lansford. Now you got runners at the corners and 1 out. And the batter is Henderson. Henderson is 0 for 3. Now, Henderson has a double play rating of 2. Leary has a 0. You got very good pivot rating with Sachs. Well, actually, no. Sachs is a -2 pivot rating. He was not good when it came to trying to get double plays out. And shortstop Griffin a -1. I'm going to call the infield in here and not play for the 2 and see if we can prevent the runner from scoring. Leary is going to pitch to Henderson. So the infield is in, 1-0, top of the 8th in this pitcher's duel. We still roll for strategy roll. And that is a 3. Polonia has now his attempt rating is an 8. In order to try to steal home, it's divided by 5. The only way Polonia would have had a chance to steal home, his attempt rating would have to be a 15. Okay? It's an 8, no steal home. Lansford has an attempt rating of a 5. That is a 3. Lansford's going to try to steal second. Polonia will not try to steal home. So we have an attempt of second anyway. Now, normally, in this instance, I would call that off and let Henderson hit. But because this is a demo game, we're going to run it as it is. So Lansford's a 5. Lansford has a good chance, though. 16 + 2 is 18. Sosha -2. So Lansford's going to try to go to second and take out the double play. So a 1 to 16, he's safe. He is. Barely gets under the tag, but Lansford gets the second base on a stolen base. That's his second stolen base of the game. And now runners at second and third. That takes away a double play chance. So now the infield will stay in. Now with runners at second and third. And no, you're not going to walk Dave Henderson and pitch to Canseco. So now the question is, do you keep Leary out here? I think you still go with Leary. He's got one more batter to face before he tires. So the infield will still be in. So now runners at second and third. The question is, can Polonia try to steal home? Yes, it would have to be a 1 on the strategy roll. It's a 15. He's not going to go. Henderson does have a bunt rating of 4, but that's not enough for him to go ahead and try a bunt. So it's going to be a normal hit. So runners at second and third, 1 out, infield in. Athletics trying to get something going on here. Here comes the pitch from Leary. 5-2. And that is a strikeout chance against a righty. Henderson is an 11. +1 is a 12. That's a 15. He doesn't get him. Henderson gets the swing. 2-2. And it's an F9. This is a fly ball to right field. It's a fly ball to right. The right fielder is Guerrero. That is an out. And that's going to be 2 outs. Now, you have a runner on third. Now we try to sacrifice. Henderson has a sacrifice fly rating of 2. You roll the die, a 1 or a 2, Polonia automatically comes in to score. It was hit deep enough. It is a 6, no. So now you have to roll on Polonia's card. Polonia is pretty fast. His base running rating is a 4. Guerrero has an arm rating in right field of 0. So you roll now to see if Polonia still tries to come in. A 1 to 4, Polonia scores and ties it up. It is a 1, and he does. Polonia comes in on the sacrifice fly. Lansford, however, stays at second. The only way he would have tried to get to third is if it came off the sacrifice fly rating of the batter card. He stays at second. But Polonia comes in to score, and we are tied at 1. Stadium groans. Now the batter is Canseco with 2 outs. The infield is back. Leary is now tired. But I think I'm gonna see if he can get through this inning and finish it off against the Bash brother. Lansford on at second. Leary will pitch to Canseco. Leary's tired. So what I do is I will put a yellow marker on here that states he's tired. And now the parentheses results do come into play as fatigue. So Leary will pitch to Canseco. There are 2 outs. We're still rolling the strategy. And that's a 9. Lansford's not doing anything. Nothing happening. Leary will pitch to Canseco. The pitch from Leary is a 3-4. That is a blank. Canseco goes to Canseco's card. Canseco, 1-2. And he hits one, but it's going to be a fly ball, an F8. And that is a fly out to center field. Shelby will get to it. And that will end the inning. 1 run, 2 hits, a stolen base, and a sacrifice fly. And we are tied at 1 going in the bottom of the 8th. Alfredo Griffin leads off for the Dodgers in the bottom of the 8th inning. And we need a pitcher from the Athletics. Okay, I just found a mistake there. Kurt Young does not have an injury rating. Neither does Gene Nelson. Neither does Rick Honeycutt. Ooh. Okay. All right. I see some errors in the 88th season. I'll have to get them. Okay. All right. Gotta mind myself. Give me 1 minute. I gotta make myself a note. Missing injury ratings. I'll have to keep him up to do that there. I got to make a note for myself because I know I got to do something with that because I got to let him know he's missing injury ratings on his 88 set. Every card is supposed to have an injury rating. He doesn't have one there. Even if they're supposed to still say injury rating of 0, even if they are. Yeah, I got to let him know. Okay, at least on the Oakland set. All right, so the Athletics need a pitcher. We go to the bottom of the 8th. And let's see who they're going to bring in to pitch. Griffin leads off. I'm probably going to bring in a lefty against him, maybe. And we're going to bring in Honeycutt. So Rick Honeycutt's going to come on to pitch for the Athletics. 7 saves. He had a lot of relief appearances. 55 relief appearances, 6-2. So he's gonna come in to pitch here for the Athletics. And he can pitch to 6 batters before tiring. Okay. So Honeycutt will pitch to Griffin. So bottom of the 8th inning, tied at 1. So Honeycutt is now the pitcher. Honeycutt, 5-2. That's a blank. We go to Griffin's card. Griffin, 2-3, and that's an F7, and that's going to be a fly ball to left field, and that will be an out. Griffin is now 0 for 4. Here comes Gibson. Gibson is 0 for 2 with a walk. He has a stolen base. Honeycutt will go ahead and make the pitch. 6-1. And that's a hit by pitch. Gibson is an 8. Honeycutt is a +4, which makes him a 12. That's an 18. He does not hit him. Gibson gets the swing. 4-3, and that's a 2. That's a double star 2. So that's a star line 2. We go to Honeycutt's card, and that's a G5, and that is a ground ball to third. 2 outs now, and now the batter is Marshall. Marshall is 0 for 2 with a walk. Honeycutt will pitch. 6-4. And that's an EG question mark. That's an error on a grounder. So now we go to see if there's a ground ball on Mike Marshall's card. 6-4. And that is a double star 1. Honeycutt on a double star 1 is a G4. That is a ground ball, so it's a ground ball to second. That ball is hit to Hubbard. Hubbard, we check his error rating, and his error rating is a 4. We check the die, that is a 20. That's not going to be an error. So Hubbard will not make an error. He'll take it, and he'll throw to first to get the out and retire the side. So 1, 2, 3 go the Dodgers, and we are tied at 1 after 8. You think you're playing every third day of the fast score schedule, how you select which games you play, especially. They're not random. I choose games. I try to make sure that every team is presented at least twice at the early part of the year. Some teams you'll see 3, 4, 5 times, okay? But every team will be shown at least twice until August, and that's when I cut off teams that are no longer in the playoff hunt. That's when I only stay with teams that are fighting for a playoff spot. So after 8, we got a tie game here. And it's tied at 1. Let's go to the 9th. So the 9th inning, top of the 9th inning, tied at 1. Leading off for the Athletics is Doug Jennings, who came in for McGuire, who was ejected. Leary is not going to pitch. Dodgers will go to the bullpen. And let's see what they're going to bring out. And they're going to go with Tim Cruz. 4 wins, no losses, no saves, a 3.14 ERA. Cruz is going to come on and pitch for the Dodgers. So Cruz will pitch against Doug Jennings. And I'm going to leave Jennings out there. So top of the 9th inning, tied at 1. Cruz now is now the pitcher. 3-5. Pitcher Cruz, 3-5. EG question mark error on a grounder. Jennings, 2-3. And that's a D7. Jennings goes ahead and smacks a double to left field. You still check to see if there's an error out there. A double left field is Gibson. His error rating is a 7. That's a 1. That's going to be an error. That's going to be a double and at least a 1 base error, and Jennings has a chance. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Nick. But do me a favor, people. Do not give me the score of the Dolphin game. I don't want the score of the Dolphin game. I really don't. I want to concentrate on this. Do not give me the score of the Dolphin game. Jennings, it's a double and an error. So Jennings goes to third automatically. You get an extra base. Now he tries to see if he can score. And I'll show you the chart here. So it's an error on a grounder, and it's a D with a number 5. Hit, boots ball. Roll 1d6 versus adjusted base running rating of runner hitter, 1 roll for all. If higher than ABR, then runner hitter advances 1 extra base, otherwise advance 2 extra bases than normal advancement of hit type. It's a double. So what you do here, very easy to try to keep it in your mark, in your head. If it's a single and an error, the batter is on second. If it's a double and an error, the batter is on third. Now you roll to see if he scores. Jennings' base running rating is a 2. Gibson has a 0 from an arm rating. So a 1 or a 2, Jennings will score on this double and an error by Gibson. He does. Jennings hits a double to left. Gibson misplays the hop. It goes past him to the wall. Jennings rounds third, comes in to score. A's up 2-1 in the 9th. Stadium barfs. Yeah. That is a double and an E7, and it allows Jennings to score. That is the first error on the Dodgers. And it's 2-1 A's. Gibson's bad legs makes an error out in left field on an error on a grounder, and that allows Jennings to score. Cruz will still continue to pitch, and here's Weiss. Weiss is 0 for 3. So that's how you have a double and an error. So we are getting some action here for the demo game. So Cruz will now pitch to Weiss, but now it's a 2-1 A's lead. Cruz, a 1-3. That is a blank. We go to Weiss's card. Weiss, a 5-4. That's a G4. That's a ground out to second. That's handled by Sachs. 1 out. And now the batter is Javier. Javier is 0 for 2 with a walk. Wow, a big error, a double, but a big error by Gibson allows the A's to take a 2-1 lead. Cruz with the pitch is a 1-4. That's a K. That's a strikeout chance. Javier against the righty is an 11. Plus 1 is a 12. That's a 16. He doesn't strike out. Javier, a 3-1. That's a G6, and that's a ground out to short. And there are 2 outs. 2 down now. The batter is Steinbach. Steinbach is 0 for 3. Steinbach, 0 for 3. And let's see. Cruz will continue to pitch to him. Cruz, a 4-2. On a 4-2 off his card is a blank. We'll go to Steinbach's card. Steinbach is a 5-4, and that's an F8. That's a fly ball to center field. And getting in there is going to be Shelby, and he will make the catch and retire the side. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error, a big-time error on Kirk Gibson in left field, which allows Doug Jennings, who came in from McGuire after being ejected, to score, and the A's have a 2-1 lead going into the bottom of the 9th. But even though this is a demo game, will we see some 9th inning magic? The Athletics will bring in their closer. And of course, who else could it be in 1988? And it, of course, would be that guy. Coming on to pitch for the Athletics will be Denny Eck. Dennis Eckersley. And by the way, Gibson is slated to bat 7th. So he may not face Eckersley. So Dennis Eckersley comes up to pitch. 4-2, 45 saves, a 2.35 ERA. And he's going to try to close this game out for the Athletics. John Shelby is the leadoff batter, and I will let him hit. He is 1 for 3 with a double. So Dennis Eckersley, Hall of Famer, absolutely. He will get to play. So make a pitch. Eckersley, 4-3. Now here's a switch, split chance. Eckersley against the lefty is a home run result. Against the righty is a blank. Shelby is a switch hitter. So he's bidding lefty against Eckersley. So that is a home run result. Shelby against the righty is a 15. That is a 16. He just misses a tying homer by 1. You gotta be kidding me. Show it again. It's a split chance. Against the lefty is a home run result. Against the righty is a blank. Shelby is hitting from the left side since Eckersley is a right-handed pitcher. Against the righty, he needs a 15. There's no adjustment from the stadium, and he misses it with a 16. Holy cow. He does get the swing, though. 2-4, and instead he chops it to third. It's a ground ball to third, and that is the first out. Stadium groans. Shelby misses a tying homer by 1. And that's another reason why inside pitch is so much fun. You really got to look at the dice and the cards. Here's Scioscia. Scioscia is 0 for 2 with a walk. 1 out. Eckersley will continue to pitch, but Eckersley almost gave up the bomb. Eckersley with the pitch. 4-1. That's an ET question mark. That's an error on a throw. Now we roll on Scioscia's card. 5-5. Scioscia against the right. Now gets a split chance. Against the lefty, it's a single pass short. Against the righty, it's a grounder pass. It's a grounder to short. Now, however, because Eckersley is a righty, not a lefty, this would have been an automatic infield single because error on a throw on an S1 to S6 is an automatic single. You just wonder if a throwing error is made and the runner advances. This is a grounder to short instead since he's a righty. A grounder to short. The ball is hit to Weiss. Weiss's error rating, his error rating is a 6. That is an 8. He will not make a throwing error. The throw goes to first. 2 outs. Wow, the Dodgers are getting dice rolls, but they're not going the way they hoped. Last chance for the Dodgers will be Hamilton, and he is 0 for 3, but we're going to see a pinch hitter for Hamilton. At least he's at third base. Hamilton's going to come out of the game. Dodgers will go to the bullpen. It could be anybody, and they're going to bring in Mickey Hatcher. Mickey Hatcher will also take over at third if this game goes any further. So Mickey Hatcher will now bat. 293 average, a homer, 25 RBIs. So here comes Hatcher against Eckersley. 2 outs. David Vega joins us here late. Eckersley will go ahead and make a pitch. Eckersley, 1-1. That's a range play. So someone's going to have to make a play out there. Hatcher will get to bat. It's a 6-6. That's a question mark 9. It's a ball hit to right field. Against the righty, Hatcher, that is a 9. That's going to, a 1 to 10, that would be a single. So it's a single possibility to right field, but it's a range play for Canseco. Canseco in right field, his range is a 3. A 1 to 3, this ball game is over. No, it's a 5. It'll be a base hit, and the game will continue. Hatcher gets on base on a failed range play as Canseco could not get there, and the Dodgers are still alive. And now the batter is Pedro Guerrero. He is 1 for 3 with a triple. Hatcher is the tying run, not much speed, and I think we're going to see a pinch runner in for Hatcher. He'll come out. I still have another third baseman I can use. And taking over on the bases is going to be Mike Davis. He has a base running rating of 4, which makes him a lot faster. So he will come and pinch run. Guerrero at the plate. Guerrero is 1 for 3. Eckersley trying to nail the game down. Fans here at Dodger Stadium hoping for something. Eckersley trying to knock it down in this demo game. Strategy rolls are still on. We still roll. That is an 18. Guerrero has a bunt rating of 1. He's not going to bunt. There's no pickoff, and in this case, even if he did come up with a bunt, I wouldn't do it with 2 outs. And of course, no hit and run. So the strategy roll is negative and nothing for Eckersley for a pickoff. Eckersley will go ahead and try to pitch. Eckersley with the pitch. 4-6. EG question mark. Error on a grounder. So now Guerrero tries to swing. 4-3. And that is now it's an S5. That is not an error on a grounder. That is a possible infield hit. On EG question mark and on E question marks, and I'll show you the chart. E question mark and an EG question mark, these are all in yellow. This was a rule change he did for version 3. Infield single base runner, no error check as no error can be made. Roll 1d6 versus hitter's base running rating. If roll is higher, hitter is out, otherwise single. All runners advance 1 base. So the ball is hit to third. That ball is hit to Lansford. The throw's got to go to first. Guerrero has a base running rating of 2. A 1 or a 2, Guerrero is safe. A 3 to 6, this ball game is over. Picked up by Lansford. Throws to first. He's out of there. That's your game. Ball is hit to Lansford. Picks it up. Pumps once. Pumps twice. Throws to first. That's your game. Oakland will take the demo game 2-1 over the Dodgers. Stadium barfs. Yeah. No runs, 1 hit for the Dodgers. As that goes ahead, as that will be a win for the Athletics in this demo game, 2-1. And what about the blue card holder left in my dice tower? Those are in the baseball all-star card game that you can find. It's I should always keep that box, and I thought I did. I think I did. I think I still have it somewhere, but that's in it's in the all-star baseball card game. Is where you can get that. It's not easy to find. It's a hard thing to find. It's a hard thing to locate these days because it was made back in the 80s. But that's where I got that set from. There are Etsy. There are people where you can get something like that. Final line score coming up, guys. Here's the line score for the Athletics: 2 runs on 5 hits and 1 error. For the Dodgers, 1 run on 7 hits and 1 error. The winning pitcher actually is Rick Honeycutt. He got the win. He got the win in the game. Tim Cruz takes a hard loss on a very tough error by Kirk Gibson. Dennis Eckersley, of course, gets the save. So that is your demo game for the 1988 season. I will, of course, do another demo game at the start of the next season, and that would be in July, as that will be when we find out what season that will be after the selection show, probably when we approach the World Series for this season. So I hope you enjoyed the demo game. If you have any questions, you can still post it in the comments of this video. I want to thank everybody for joining me for the demo game. Our next game will be opening day. It will be Tuesday, January 10th instead of the 9th. We do want to watch the college football national championship between TCU and Georgia. I do want to watch that. So I moved opening day to the 10th. And it will be April 4th, 1988. And we got a heck of a game. We have a heck of a game to start that season off. So I know you don't want to miss it. Opening day, 1988. The Detroit Tigers taking on the Boston Red Sox. Jack Morris will pitch for the Tigers. Roger Clemens goes for the Red Sox. How can you not start a season with Morris and Clemens, the Tigers and the Red Sox? I looked at all the pitching matchups for opening day. I had to start it there. So April 4th, 1988. The Tigers and the Red Sox, Jack Morris versus Roger Clemens, Morris the Cat against the Rocket. There was no other way to start the 88 season off. That is what we will have. FastScore, of course, returns that day as well as we begin the 1988 season. So join me on January 10th, which is Tuesday, Tigers, Red Sox, Morris, Clemens, opening day. Be there or be square. My Basement Media Productions, Brian Patterson, Woodman, 564, Doug Hunt, David Vega, Baseball with the Demos, Chris DeMello, Midlife Crisis, Clee Baseball Fan 879, J2 2.0, Brian Patterson, Ronald Spersky, Jeremy Brooks, Jeff Merklin, Joel Turney, Brian B, Old Man Music 527, Beatles Eternally, Forever Remain 90, Donald Cummins, V-Dub Productions, I hope I got everyone. Thank you for joining me today. Ryan Sullivan, please leave a like on your way out to the turnstiles. Subscribe if you've not done so. And make sure you hit the bell. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay smart, stay strong. And we'll see you guys on January 10th for opening day. Happy New Year to everyone. The Athletics win it in pretty exciting fashion. Who knows what the 1988 season will bring? Athletics over the Dodgers 2-1. We'll see you guys on Tuesday, January 10th. Happy New Year. Have a good one.